It's been almost 2 years since we've been here.
Been a little bit.
Been a minute.
Yeah. We're the podcast that drinks and knows things. I'm Ben. Sitting next to me, Bailey, Luke,
Hey.
Riley, Glendog.
What's up?
All right. Tonight we are talking about Season 2, Episode 1 of House of the Dragon, titled A Son for a Son. We're recording this on June 23rd of 2024. So, all right, what are we drinking?
I will start. I got a Bird Law from Narrow Gauge.
Nice.
Nice.
Excellent.
I've got a Samuel Adams Summer Ale for the good June months.
So I got some McGuire's Draft Stout.
We are drinking Firesteed Pinot Noir.
Heck yeah, dog.
Excellent.
Watch everyone. Cheers.
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 All right. So I do apologize. Usually I'm looking at a computer, but my computer's ticked right now. So we're going to go with the phone look down, so I'll be looking down a bit. This show and all of our shows at thepodcastthat.com are produced with the love and support of our wonderful Imaginary Legion patrons. Learn more about our reward tiers at patreon.com/stayimaginary. All right. So we're going to start with episode duration was 59 minutes, aired last week on June 16, 2024, directed by Alan Taylor and written by Ryan Condal. Episode description, Glendog.
While Rhaenyra struggles to come with terms with her son's murder in King's Landing, Alicent grows concerned of Aegon's small council may lead them to an all-out war. Larry suggests Aegon needs a new hand, and Rhaenyra arrives at a fateful decision.
All right. And the previous Leon.
Previous Leon.
That's good.
Is that mine too?
That's still you.
That's
All right. Rhaenyra is named heir to the Iron Throne. Otto von Hightower warns Alicent of possible warfare in regards to the claim to the throne once King Viserys dies. Christian Cole is named Lord Commander of the Kingsguard. Rhaenyra weds Daemon to face the Greens together. Alicent misinterprets Aegon's dream while Viserys is on his deathbed. Aegon ascends to the throne. Rhaenyra gains support of her claim by friends and family as war appears on the horizon. Prince Jaehaerys and Lucerys are sent to gain support. Lucerys is attacked and slain by Aemon via dragon.
Nice.
Yep.
Before we get started, if it's your first time here in the live chat, thanks for being here. Subscribe, like the video, tell a friend, share it with everybody you've ever met in your whole life, and let's get this season going. I'm excited.
Yeah.
And if you've been here before, welcome back. We're excited to have you here again.
Yeah.
Appreciate you.
Good to see if I get the live chat pulled up on the other phone here. See if we can have that going. So, opening credits. Glenn, you got the description on
I'll
that.
do it again. Tapestries weaved to illustrate the story of House of Dragon.
All right, thoughts on those new opening credits?
I think they're definitely intriguing. I mean, it's something different that I wasn't really expecting.
Yeah, it's one thing we never saw with the original Game of Thrones. They stuck to the same pattern each time. You know, they had different areas that they touched on, but it was always different. It was always kind of one of those of, like, it was the same exact scene you're going to see.
Until the very last season, they did it
They-
all the entire way.
Yes, yeah, they do.
And that was the first major change stylistically, but it was still the same concept,
Yeah,
right?
Still the
exactly.
map.
But then last season for House of Dragon, we had the blood running through everywhere, like the lineage, and that was fine.
It was hard to follow.
I like this
Yeah,
better.
I agree with
Yeah.
I
that.
like this
No, I
better.
did too.
It's very classy, I thought. I like the tapestry. I thought Glenn's got a good wine that he brought for us today as well. Show it right here on screen. It's called Tapestry.
Tapestry.
So there's that.
Tap into that.
Tap into it.
And I got the shout out. Hey, quick shout out. Hey, JD Fandom House, Mikey, and Episode Club, Mackenzie. Thanks y'all for being here, and hope to see some more. All right, my thought was I liked how they did go to the tapestry style, and because last season was all about Viserys and his little micro, mini miniature railroad style through the build up of the castle and all that, doing all that. This, I think, is more leaning towards Helena, because we saw her almost every time we've seen her, she's always doing the stitching, always doing that.
Sure.
So I think that's kind of a little Easter egg to
Yeah.
her, like
That's a good call.
maybe being something. So I'm like, okay, this is going to be kind of a guide to maybe keep an eye on what she does.
No, that's a pretty good point. Every time she's on screen, I feel like it is very relevant. Every single time she's been on. I mean, there's been very few times where it was like, okay, she's just weird. But if you listen to what she was saying,
Yeah.
it was a
Yeah,
premonition.
she gives
of
like a
sorts.
little riddle or something where you
Or even in this episode, we'll get there. But like every scene she's in, turns out to be a pretty big deal.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I think she's a character that we're going to be spending a lot of time on. At least this
Keep
episode.
an eye on.
Yeah, for sure. But I like the intro overall much
Yeah.
better.
Riley, any thoughts on it?
I skipped the intro, so I didn't see it. I'm not gonna lie.
It was nice.
Yeah, I believe you guys.
If we draw it up like we could get a picture board.
Yeah.
We'll just draw the
Perfect.
storyboard it up.
All right, anybody got anything else?
No, good start.
Good start.
All right, for opening scene, we're into North.
The North. As a raven is seen flying through the woods, the countryside, and to Winterfell, we hear an account of the northern values. The account continues as Prince Jaehaerys meets with Mr. Stark at Castle Black.
Hair Stark.
Yeah, I mean, I think because what are they saying? It's supposedly Kragan Stark.
Yeah,
I think is who the guy is. Cregan.
Yeah.
But I don't think they.
Knelt.
Nope. No.
His son.
That's his son.
Oh.
Yeah. This. We just looked at that. I forget what his name was. Torrent.
Torrent. That's
Torrent's the
yeah,
king
yeah.
that knelt. Cregan is around for a long time though.
Yeah.
Not to spoil it.
But I don't think they mention him. Like, hey, I'm Cregan Stark.
Yeah,
or
they
anything
never
like
said
that.
his name.
Was it just
It
on
was
the
in the
subtitle?
subtitles.
That's what
Oh,
it was.
sure.
Yeah, you're right. We just saw it written on the subtitles, and I just went with it. But that makes sense that they never verbalized it. But it's clearly like, hey, this is head honcho Stark, man.
Yeah,
And I thought
absolutely.
I thought it was pretty well done. I mean, it's a little odd in Fire and Blood. Again, we're not doing a direct hard.
No.
For the record, we're not experts by any means.
No.
If you're first time
I'm just
here.
for the first time actually reading Fire and Blood, and I just got through this.
We're not
Haven't
experts.
even gotten
Please
that
don't
far.
hold us to the same regard of expertise as all of the book people.
Yeah.
But I was just going through this scene again today in the book, and
Here we go.
it's interesting because a lot of things that we see in the show, it's only like one sentence or less
Oh,
in the
God,
book.
yeah.
Like all of season 1 was like a paragraph. It really wasn't much.
Well,
It really wasn't
I would
much.
probably guess because audiobook was. I would guess it's probably about a page.
Yeah,
For the entirety
it's
of-
pieced out. There's
Yeah.
different pieces, but it's like
Yeah.
mentions of this that they have to expand.
So it's more open to interpretation.
yeah, and
yeah.
even this, there's several different interpretations of how this interaction goes between these two. So I think it's interesting to see how the show kind of sets what it is, and book readers have always kind of had some ambiguity. It seemed like they were pretty
Yeah.
friendly, I
Mhm.
thought. I mean, in general, like it seems like they're off to a pretty good start.
Yeah.
And I remember hearing one thing with the last season specifically, but like showrunners have said, so there were different people. You're getting mushroom, you're getting maester, whatever.
Mhm.
This is the definitive of what happened.
So they're claiming this
Like-
is the true, not
like-
the story.
Yeah, that from what I've heard,
Okay.
I could be
Interesting.
completely incorrect about that, but from what I've heard, maybe I don't even know if the showrunner said it. Maybe it was just another YouTuber that I heard it, but this is to be understood as this is the actual, not the mushroom spin or everything like that. Which is an interesting way. of thinking of things. My take on the first part was actually, it's been so long since I watched season 1. I thought the kid who was actually walking up, like he drew the black rock and was walking up, I thought that was Jacaerys.
Yeah.
I thought that was actually the other Rhaenyra's son, like at Castle Black, taking there and like walking up, and then he like gets there because I wasn't paying that much attention. I'm like, okay, now he's talking to him. Why did you draw the black rock and he walked all the way? He has the dragon. I'm like, I was so confused.
Yeah.
You're in the black now.
It was neat to see how the Starks actually have defended the wall. Like they said, one from each generation goes and leads and basically is.
They take pride in that.
Yeah, you know, and so that was actually really cool to like seeing that because I've never heard that full breakdown before or anywhere else. So
yeah, it's always just kind of hinted at that it's the duty that you have to. Like you hear Ned Stark talking about things like that, but not so blatantly. But they also don't blatantly say it's because of the White Walkers. They just call it death.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Because even them, it's like we know, but we know other people aren't going to buy this shit.
Yeah.
So we got to be careful how we.
So let me ask you
There's
this:
zombies.
is he kind of like in the watch, or is he just kind of hanging out?
No, he was just up there. I think he may have gone up with the new Stark that drew the rock.
That
He's
makes sense.
He's Lord of Winterfell.
Okay.
He's Lord of Winterfell.
Okay, so
and they use
he
it
can
as
go
an
visit
honor
if he wants.
piece of
Yeah.
certain numbers of how Stark go up to join the Watch,
Mhm.
and I think he was accompanying them to show that like this is not a punishment. This is an honorary. This is an honor.
Yeah.
In general.
I'm your coach that's taking you up to
right. And
to state, and then you're gonna.
you're in. You're in, kiddo. Go get him.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I liked that scene in general. I
I like-
like getting to see kind of early at this time period that they're still tried and true to what they're doing,
Yeah.
and nothing's different, nothing's changed. It's interesting that they talk about when Cregan Stark was there with Jaehaerys and give Queen Alicent, that they were saying the dragons would never fly across, right? They're saying the dragons don't fly across, which we see obviously in the other show.
Right.
Well, was
That
that
may have been
after?
a problem? But we
I
don't
guess
know.
that was before the wall broke, right?
It was a couple of decades. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, no, he's talking
No,
about
I'm like in the show.
Danny. Like,
Oh, I'm sorry. Yes. Yeah. I thought you meant this. I was like, yeah, this is
Did the wall break yet?
100
Just a bit.
180
It's been
years.
broken this whole time.
see what they didn't tell you is Danny flew around.
That's what it was,
She
yeah.
flew around the wall. She didn't go over the wall. She flew around the wall.
It's too high.
Too high. Too high.
It's by the sea.
It's too wide. Yep, it's too wide.
The toll booth. She had to.
Just like the narrow seat.
It's
Too
wider
wide.
Oh man, the narrow
Yeah.
sea. It's just too far.
It's too far.
Mr. Narrow Sea himself.
Yeah. There we go. Had to get it in.
That question actually helped me a lot because one thing that I did have as a note on this scene was I was confused as to why the Lord of the Night's Watch was going to send 2,000 men. I was like, that doesn't make sense. I'm interested
It's
to
like
see.
literally what Jon Snow
Yeah.
was going to get in trouble.
Exactly,
That's what they rebelled against.
I was super interested to see if this is the reason why they don't do that in the future, but it makes more sense. He's actually the Lord of Winterfell.
Yes.
So
And then the guys he wants to send are, he said the
All
graybeard,
the old men.
the old men of
the old
Winterfell.
timers
Yeah.
that
Who
are
can
still
still whip some ass.
looking for a
I'd
fight.
take him my team.
They're
Yeah.
bored of being retired. Can't stand their wives.
Oh, well, yeah.
All right. Anybody got anything else on the wall?
No, good scene, guys.
Yeah.
We did it. Next
We
one.
made it through.
Stark with a big sword. I'm happy.
Yeah, that's ice. That's ice right there.
Hmm.
All right. Dragonstone.
Rhaenys arrives at Dragonstone as Daemon urges her to go back out.
He ain't wrong. She could have wiped out the entire problem in a scene that was not book, that was all show created kind of thing. She would never out of the dragon pit, all that shit. But he's not wrong. Instead of her just fucking up being like, haha, I could kill you, kill him.
Well, I don't even have a show.
I understand plot driven.
And she even says it wasn't my shot to take. It's not my call to start and to make the first shot in this war. It's not.
I think
she specifically isn't queen. It's not her call. She
Daemon
did her
is
part.
he's just trying to be a couple moves ahead, just
Yeah.
to kind of cross all the T's and dot all the J's and I's.
Yeah, I mean those lowercase J's, you gotta dot that too. I mean his tactical prowess is pretty well respected, and I mean it's kind of interesting because he's clearly being kind of throttled right now as to a governor's being put on this horsepower that he's trying to bring.
Yeah.
I don't think what he's choosing is wrong. I don't think what he's saying is the tactical correct thing. but he's starting with it's not his call to make. He wants it to be his call, but he also has a lot of respect for Rhaenyra and her reign. So I don't know. We'll just see if that continues to last or not.
I'm surprised he hasn't overstepped his limits yet and just said go for it. I feel like he's so close to being there.
I feel like he's been flirting with it a lot. Yeah.
Well, I mean, we'll get to it. He does take.
We'll get there.
He does take steps, but he also knows his place and wants to show. You know, he's such that gray character. Like, he's probably the grayest of gray characters in this show so far.
I would agree.
You know,
him and Aemond overall. We'll see.
Aemond,
We'll see where he goes.
Aemon's chaos evil. Like, he's.
I don't think he's.
I'm going chart wise. Like, he's chaos and controlled chaos. Aegon actually is more neutral, and we'll get there later. But Daemon, he's that just, you know, he wants to go, but he's so good at what he's doing. All right. Anyway, anybody got anything else on that scene?
No, it's good though. I mean, I like the respect that he shows her. You know, that he shows to Rhaenys, and the respect he has for Meleys. I mean, he knows that Caraxes and Meleys are pretty big bad bitches, and they can get this job done, especially if it's, you know, unbeknownst to Vhagar. You know, I feel like it's a good plan, but, you know, he doesn't keep railing after her. He just kind of lets it happen.
I do like the comment that Rhaenys makes when he's like, well, what if she runs into Vhagar, talking about Rhaenyra, and then Rhaenys says, I would be worried for Vhagar, because, like, a wounded mother.
Oh yeah,
like,
I mean, Mama Dragon.
100%. I think probably could win that fight. Would not, but definitely could win the fight. I think in a 1v1 in a very
do some damage or something.
Yeah,
I mean, she's gonna go out. There's no there's no reservation at all.
But that is a
Or
big
even
dragon.
Self-preservation a touch too.
Yeah.
Or she might just say kamikaze, like I'm not doing anything without you dying
I take
too.
myself out.
Right.
It is a big dragon though.
Yeah. Cyrex ain't small.
No. All right.
Cyrex is back in the park.
Mr. Lady.
We'll shift on down to near Storm's End.
I just assumed that was near Storm's End.
That's good.
Yeah, Shipbreaker Bay.
Right. That's what it looked like from the last season, but that's what I went with. A furious Rhaenyra looks onto the castle at Storm's End.
Yeah, really, really short scene, but like it was just a pit in my stomach, like for her. Like that's just heartbreaking seeing her.
She looks so
like,
broken,
forlorn, like just lost. I mean, it's
because the previous scene they mentioned that she was missing, right?
Yeah, she's out. Like basically, Rhaenys confirmed she's out looking for evidence just to confirm that Luke's dead, you know, kind of thing. And so,
poor Luke.
All right.
Get out!
Damn.
Hey, you're
I
dead.
didn't realize that meant I was off the show.
The pod has spoken.
Why else do you think they brought me in?
all right. Anybody else on that quick scene?
No, this is kind of
Not
more
really,
of a transition
just-
scene.
Yeah.
Luke has a pit in his stomach.
All right, Driftmark.
Ships are being repaired as Corlys orders them to be back at sea ASAP.
Go ahead, Glenn. Yeah, actually, my comment goes towards yours.
So it kind of the thing I like about this scene, it takes a community to build and repair the ships, and it's not as easy as like, oh, let's get the ships out there. You got to kind of have a little TLC to some of these ships. And it kind of reminds me of Black Sails. I think there's a episode
that's
or two
a great
where
show.
Yeah.
they're kind of
It did remind me, like when
fixing
they're
the ships and
yeah,
stuff.
they got the ship beached and they're working on scrubbing everything. And
The barnacles.
Yeah. No, I got Black Sails vibes from this scene too.
And from your comment there, Glenn, it shows the scope of how many small folk there are. Because when we're seeing the show, yeah, you go into King's Landing and you get the mobs, the shame, and all that, but it's still hard. You get outside of there, it's always just here. It's just woods, or it's just maybe a couple people here.
Right.
This is a whole fucking community, doing this. And it's like you have to they have to kind of keep reminding us, hey, this is not just the elites doing this, involved in this. It's everyone, and there's a lot of them.
I think that's one of the best things for me personally to get enveloped in a story, is and it's kind of counter against what like Hollywood and anybody putting on a show wants to do is give a character a name, right? Because it's more money if you have a name.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, having Alan, right, be a person that we may never see again. I know we will probably, but it gives a little bit of life, and the more you do that, the more I can say, like, okay, this is a town, there's things being built, there's a hierarchy, but there's still respect between the people. It just throws me into the story way more
makes
in
it feel
general.
way more real.
What's that guy's name, Alan?
Alan?
Was-
Alyn?
Alan of Hull,
Yeah.
Alan.
which is the ship-making town, basically,
Mhm.
called Hull.
Okay.
Hull.
Yeah.
But this scene also kind of reminds, similar to the Black Sails. This is the scene where we were watching. I was like, man, this kind of gave me vibes from House of the Dragon, or House of the Dragon
so.
season 2.
Wait, this is a House
Rings
of the Dragon
Rings of
podcast?
Power with all the boat stuff that we
Yeah.
do there. Even like the
Mhm.
style of camera and lighting
Yeah.
and the way it was shot. It really reminded me of some of those scenes where they were out on the ship or right at the ship pulled into
Mhm.
the port and just like having conversations with people, and it felt very much like the same storyboard with different people.
For sure.
Not in a bad way, it just caught my
We'll
attention.
just reuse these sets on a different show.
Right.
Hey, Prime, can we borrow this? You know?
But I do like seeing that Corlys, he's a man of action, right?
Yeah.
We know that. He's the most traveled man in history, but even he has to wait for his ship to be ready. And it takes the facilitating all of these people, these small folk, doing their jobs, and him showing the respect for them to be like, yeah, you're right. Let's keep going. So,
Straight faster.
Kind of makes me wonder what the Alan's
Guys.
payoff's gonna be. You know,
Oh, I feel like it's good.
Yeah.
Because he saved him. Is that what he's
He
saying?
pulled
He was the
Yeah.
one that pulled him out. That's what it sounded like.
He's a good guy.
all
I guess.
right.
Pretty good guy.
Done with Driftmark. Good guy. All right, King's
Next,
Landing.
we're going to go to King's Landing for a little bit.
Woo!
Soldiers man a scorpion to protect the city from a dragon attack.
Yeah. So, my question with this: Scorpions take like 3, 4, 5 weeks to build. They're pretty intricate pieces of machinery. And yes, we do get a little answer later in the thing that I kind of figured. But we have Scorpions already on the battlements. Viserys died a week ago.
I bet they've had them.
They're
in
probably
general.
always there.
That's
They got
what.
a
Why?
handful,
Why would you need them?
They just have some dust.
They had all the dragons. Like
Some
Viserys
dust
was in
on 'em.
control of all the dragons. So why would you need them? That's my question. You wouldn't need the Scorpions in time of peace or in time of family, whatever. So
There are
Good
3
point.
wild dragons.
true. There are.
That I don't know if potentially they're trying to avoid any intermixing or just, hey, you never know. That's
Okay.
one theory. I don't.
That's a fair one.
You're welcome, Ryan Condal. There's your answer.
There you go. Okay. Because I was just thinking, I'm like, they got that thing up pretty damn quick and we're ready to
And
go.
those 3 wild dragons are
Sheep Stealer.
mentioned to be, they live on Dragonstone
Yeah.
somewhere.
Sheep Stealer, Vermithor, and I can't tell you.
The cannibal.
The cannibal. Yeah.
One thought on that is, even though Viserys maybe only died a week ago, how long of the tensions have that been building within the mind of somebody who has that power, i.e. Otto Hightower? Potentially. I'm just giving him maybe a little bit shroud of, hey, maybe we should put something up there, before any of that breaks off. Otto could have had that thought, is my other thought on it.
Or they're like from some other area of the map and they're just kind of...
Shipped.
They were from like a really old war, and they were like, well, we've got it. We might as well put them out.
Yeah.
That's where I bet there are some that are,
Yeah.
that they've got, and they're talking about making more, and that's what's taking so long.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I don't think it's unreasonable. Your thought. I don't think it's unreasonable for them to have a handful already.
True. That's fair.
And I suppose in a pinch you could use it to just fire on armies down there.
Yeah.
Ships.
Yeah, you could
Ships
make
is-
it.
Yeah, it is good shit.
However, so.
Yeah. Nice job. Hey, we knocked another one out of the park. Good job, team. We're good at this.
Somebody got something up. Hey, baby.
I think Poe.
Dire Poe.
Bark.
I think it's really weird that the dragon has to get so close for them to be like, oh no, that's ours. It's fine.
So, in fairness, you live relatively close to the airport now.
I do.
How fast can you identify a Southwest Airlines plane coming in?
I mean, that one's pretty noticeable.
It
red
is.
It's red and yellow and
But
blue.
you'd still need, it'd probably be like quarter mile.
Still got to be pretty close.
It does.
You know, so I'm just, I saw that note, I'm like, that's fair. But I'm like, as a guy who grew up next to the fucking airport, I'm like,
Yeah.
I couldn't tell you what fucking plan. Like, you know, maybe a random one.
Well, there's the one that used to have like a
the whale.
killer whale on it or whatever.
Alaska Airlines.
Yeah.
You know, but yeah, no, I was just like, that's a good point. But I'm like,
It seemed like it was real close before they're like, oh no, we're good.
yeah, well, because any dragon's gonna look big from ways away, and then it gets closer, like, oh, that's
It doesn't
really
get
big.
bigger.
It doesn't get smaller.
Yeah.
Like it's like, ooh,
Yeah.
that's huge.
How far do you think the range is for those
The
things?
scorpion, I'd probably put it at about probably 500 meters, like 500 yards. Would be a safe. So you're looking.
What's a normal bow and arrow shot?
I mean,
I think the farther you go out, the less accurate it's going to be, though.
yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
accurate.
Especially
like,
with
I'm
wind and
thinking
stuff
more
like that.
like 50 cal. You know, that you can get those up to 2,000 yards or whatever. But a ranged heavy bolt, I put about 500 meters. 500 yards that could realistically get that range to do some damage going into the
Talking
air.
about a potato cannon? Potato shooter? Hairspray?
Air for
A couple hundred yards, yeah.
yeah. So yeah.
I don't think it goes over 500 yards.
And is this the next narrow seed, Delacco?
Can you shoot us?
So the question was how far can the scorpion even
yeah.
shoot?
Yeah.
I mean,
now 500 yards vertical versus 500 yards horizontal, that's different
Yeah.
take as well. So, but I think vertical probably get 300 feet in the air.
I don't know if we have enough information.
Yeah.
True. Well, I mean, yeah.
No, we'll have to see it in action.
Further
so-
research
yeah.
required.
I mean, depends. Yeah, what kind of boat or rope are they using? Are they using steel cord? Are they using,
I'd say optimal range is within a par 4. Is what I would put
Oh,
it
I'll
at.
go further.
Oh yeah.
I'll go further.
A par 4.
Lengthwise, absolutely. It's I'm more talking
So you
height.
said-
Yeah.
Height probably 300 feet in the air.
So it takes
400 yards.
a couple of shots. To
Oh, wild girl.
Oh my gosh!
A wildling.
Where did this wildling come from?
North of the wall. It's been a journey.
Well, glad you're here now.
Me too.
You need a drink.
I do.
Let me take care of that for you.
I do.
All right, Glenn. Do you have one more thing for?
Not really. I mean, I was gonna say something. That, do you think that's the only dragon defense that they could come up with, or is there more stuff?
It's a pretty proven technology for dragons, at least for the maneuverability and just the weight of shot. It seems to be the go-to
Yeah.
for wall defense, at least in the field. We saw it get used in the last show, but I feel like that was like an upgrade, making it mobile for the
ship.
the train, the loot train.
Oh, I was more thinking of
And on the ship,
You're on
too.
ship.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, anyway.
So all right.
Abby, what are your thoughts on that scene?
I don't know.
Do you have anything from
Vagon or Vagar shows back up at King's Landing, flies back to the
They
border.
just show the
They show the
scorpions.
scorpion.
Yeah, no. It's missing a bronze singing song along with it. I don't know.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah, you miss Braun singing.
yeah. It just wasn't quite the same effect. Yeah.
All right. We'll stay in King's Landing.
next
here.
thing? Same spot. Aegon looks for Jaehaerys to take his son to work day. Christian Cole does Lord Commander things to Alicent.
Oof. Yikes. Bailey, why don't you kick us off on this one?
Is that what all our commanders do?
I mean, he's getting busy
I guess.
with all of the people he's
All of
meant
the
to
women in
protect,
power,
right?
yeah.
Sounds like he really takes that oath seriously.
Well, I mean, he was just so heartbroken last
He
season.
made a big deal of it, didn't he? It's
Yeah.
always the only thing I have to my name.
Yeah.
Let's just keep doing it without.
And I've lost it now, so what the heck?
I don't
All
know.
bets are
this
off.
fucking guy.
I don't like that guy.
Christian Cole.
Chrysanthemum Cole. I'm not a double C fan.
Crispin.
Crispin. Yeah.
Crispin Glover Cole.
Right. Yeah, I don't really like him, and I'm surprised that it's continuing the way it is, and we see more of it potentially even later this episode. So,
And she says it's the last time.
well,
right?
it was the last time.
We can't
That-
be doing
Until
this.
next time.
That
Until
afternoon.
later in the episode.
So stupid.
Yeah, so but before that, we did see Jaehaerys, going in, getting his son with Helena. That's when we get a ominous statement from her.
Rats.
I do find her fascinating.
I find her fascinating.
I mean,
for sure.
it's just she gives off these riddles that foreshadow something big, and then everyone just looks at her like, this bitch is fucking crazy.
The king even says as much.
Yeah.
He's like, Helena, what does he say?
Oh,
She had,
He basically says
she has her fancies.
her
or
fancies
something,
are so interesting or something. He basically totally shits on her.
Absolutely.
Like lovingly-ish.
Yeah.
Like it's kind of
oh,
cute.
my dear wife.
Like
she's just so strange.
she's so silly. It's
Who's-
cute.
Thanks.
Where is she from, family wise?
So
She's
sister.
his brother. Or
Okay.
she's his sister.
Yeah,
Okay.
Aegon's sister.
Younger sister. Older than Aemond?
Yes.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
I couldn't remember exactly.
Yeah, I think it's about 2 years between Aegon and Helena.
And then they have 2 children in the show, a third one non-existent.
Yeah, we haven't seen the third one. have
Darren, yeah,
we? Maelor.
Darren.
You talking about Aegon
and Helena's
and Maelor? 100% Maelor?
Darren.
Maybe they sent him off to boarding school or something.
Jaehaerys and Maelor.
He's been at summer camp.
So we got a
He's
whole
been at
season
summer
coming up,
camp.
and I'm going to convention left
I
and
know,
right.
I know, because I might be incorrect about the name then on that. So okay, that's fine. I didn't have anything on this scene. It was neat.
I thought it was funny. I liked
Yeah.
Aegon kind of showing like I want to spend my son time seeing what it is because I never got this. Like he
Yeah.
specifically was told, you are not going to be king his entire life.
Yeah.
Yep.
And now he
He
is,
got no training.
and he's like, well, at least in symbol and in
Yeah.
chair, he is. And he's gonna try to do more and keep him involved. At least it sucks for Thailand, which is hilarious, and we'll get there. But that's the next scene I realized. But I like him showing up and looking
Yeah.
for the son, and I realized I jumped.
Father
the
being in their
but
son's life.
I also know
Not
it's
just
interesting that
going to get
with,
cigarettes and never coming home.
with Christmas Cole, we find out that it's the end of summer officially.
Yeah, yep,
So
you're right there.
I don't know what it was. I just wanted him when she says this is the last time, just to give a like a beard wipe. Yeah, like I don't know. I thought that would have been. I don't know.
The only thing that I have for that scene, and not the Crispin Cole, but the round table. I overall liked it. There's a lot of interesting stuff. The only thing that was like a negative at all for me,
Well, we're not at the round table yet. We're at the council.
the council.
Nope, next
Where
scene.
he-
That's a
Oh,
catching his
okay,
son.
okay,
Luke
okay.
jumped the gun.
This is
go ahead and just
This is pre-council.
yeah. If we're, I mean, I'd say go because
All right.
I already stepped on that. But
So since you stepped on it, the council commences.
I didn't even read your description.
That's
there you go.
Wait.
I didn't
This is
even-
important.
Let's gotta do a thing, damn it.
That's funny. So I don't have much about the council overall. The only thing is, it felt, for some reason, kind of like too on the nose fan servicey of like, here is a Targaryen piece of shit king being an asshole to a Lannister. And it's like, here you go, all you Lannister haters. Here it is. And it's just, it's kind of how it felt to me. I know that's probably not exactly what was intended, but Aegon just gives me, they're trying to make it Joffrey too, and I'm sure that's exactly what the character is supposed to be. I just don't like where it's going. Like, I just don't like him.
Joffrey is being an Aegon.
He's not good. He's not as good as Joffrey, I don't think, and I'm just not enjoying him being the bad guy.
I don't think they're similar at all.
I don't. I think he's actually trying.
They're both
He's
kings.
actually
They're both
trying.
kings.
Is my opinion.
He's actually
I
trying.
think he
He
saw what
cares.
his dad did and understands what his dad was doing.
Yeah.
Whether he was taught or not, I think he understands. And we probably have a lot of people disagreeing with us.
Yeah,
I totally
maybe.
admit that that's
I-
fair. I feel like his attention, we'll get there in further
Yeah,
scenes
yeah,
too,
so
but
we'll-
like he's asking questions. He's trying to figure out what things are. He's being really irresponsible with having his son there and letting him,
Let's just take your child to work day.
Yeah, and like that's to my point. I was saying, like, I hate those kind of parents that just bring the whelps along, don't manage them. Just like, yeah,
No,
yeah,
just
whatever.
let them be
Just let-
monsters.
I do that at least.
Well, I
Kirsten
guess
went to work with me like a week ago.
No. But like, and not just at work, but like anywhere. But like, it's this isn't me calling anybody out. But it's one of those, and like, because trust me, my son's a fucking nut job at times, love him to death. But it's like, okay, if he's acting up, either have him stand next to you so he can dick with your ball, you know.
Dick with your ball.
I almost pluralized it.
So
and I
his
was
dad
like,
is Lance Armstrong.
yeah.
But I think maybe that's like the crux of why I had an issue with it, where maybe you guys are right, where he's not supposed to be Joffrey. Maybe he is trying to be a good king, but that just seemed like a forced, like, I'm just gonna be an asshole because I can. I'm being an asshole and bringing
There's
my
a
son
weird-
onto you, and I just don't
think
like
it
it.
gets that way when he says, "Okay, well, you know, it's time to pretend to be a pony and let my
Yes.
son ride."
Yeah, exactly what I'm talking
Then,
agree
about.
with that.
then it's
Yeah.
too far.
Like,
I agree with that.
there's a weird dichotomy with him where in private he's an ass, but to the public
He's a shitty person.
he's a shitty person.
But
But
I think as a ruler, he's trying
exactly,
to do.
you know, even in the council, he's like, I brought Aemon in because you know I trust his opinion. He knows what he's fucking talking about.
The small council's really small. There's not a lot of people there.
Well, they killed one of the guys that was there before. It's-
They're looking for a master of ships.
Herein lies my question of the overall episode. Where is Westerling?
It's a good question.
I just want to know.
It's a good question.
Where's he at?
He's
don't know
missing.
right
Hopefully the answer is on the way to Dragonstone.
Right? I need him to show up later on, like, what's his name? That left the Kingsguard. And then...
Aaron.
No.
That's an
We're-
old one.
Game of Thrones. He goes
Oh,
and gets
Barristan.
Danny. Barristan. Yep.
There you go.
Yep.
He's the new
The Barristan Bears.
Tower of the Bold.
I guess my comment on this is I just kind of dislike these council meetings. They're just really kind of boring to me.
Mm-hmm.
It's just kind of the same bullshit. Like there's just a table and then it's just so it's just really boring.
I think my
And-
note here is I really like these scenes. I think we get a lot out of it.
Well, I mean, there is like
There's a lot
that's
of-
their way for the showrunners
You
to
can get a lot of
pass
conversation
information
done
is what they're doing.
in a
But
short
What they're
period.
missing,
it's just boring.
what they're
I agree
missing
with
is a
that.
garden. They're not walking through the garden.
the-
He's plotting to kill you. He's gonna betray
They
you.
don't have like a council meeting at like a happy hour or something like that.
Oh man, that'd be so much better.
Well, we don't have
Dave
a
and
cupbearer
Buster's.
anymore.
Dave and Buster's.
Dave and
They don't have a cupbearer anymore. That's a good
No,
point.
they
That's a
can't
good
be
point.
happy when you don't have a cupbearer.
I do like
That's why they
that
suck.
Aegon brings Aemond in. I feel like that's like his own personal protector in a way. Like I feel like there's a safety net that he has of, hey, if I've got my brother away, because he knows that Aemond is the most diabolical weapon in the realm.
Mhm.
With him himself as a fighter, really respected. Having control of Vhagar, they don't think that there's any reason that Vhagar is a little on its own, because he didn't tell anybody that it kind of did that on its own to kill Luke last series.
Yeah.
He just kind of owned up and said, I did this, so that there's no question about the loyalty of Vhagar. It makes his power, the image of him, much more strong. Much stronger, which is not a good word to say around him.
Well, you know, Aegon knows that Crispin Cole's not protecting him.
Right, I mean,
He's busy
absolutely.
doing other
and
stuff.
I think having Aemond around is a good piece, just because he trusts his brother, and it's his own personal protector. And if he wants to, he can just say like, "Well, Aemond knew it was up, and he went and killed these people. It got solved. Okay, that makes my job easier." Like he's almost okay with Aemond being a little off the rails if it's productive in a
If
way.
it works for him.
This
Yeah.
worked for him. The first thing he did worked for him. Like it's okay for him that Luke's
Just
dead.
wait till it starts not working for him.
I also think Aegon's relationship with Alicent is really interesting. The way she is still trying to kind of rein him in, and he's really trying to like spread his wings and see what this is all about, right? And there seems to be pulling in slightly different directions, those two. Alicent and Adovan Hightower compared to Aegon. So I'm curious to see where those dynamics go.
The next council meeting.
I really like council meetings.
Council meetings are my favorite.
Alright, looks like we got one more in King's Landing here.
All right. Laeris informs Alicent of his doings. Alicent becomes frustrated with servants. I should say new servants.
I don't know.
The rats.
fine.
So this club sandwich, he's just kind of wheeling and dealing. It's definitely a problem, but like I don't think anyone's gonna call him out. He's just such a psycho that I don't think everyone's like he's gonna burn my house down next.
Yeah.
I don't know
If I
how
call him
he's
a
alive.
jackass.
How he hasn't pissed someone off to kill
Or
people.
Allison hasn't
He's befriended
seen
the right people.
how scary he is.
I mean,
She's
she
the
knows.
micro
She
figure.
does. I think she's afraid.
He's the microvaries. That's the
Either
problem.
way,
Like
yeah.
he's
He
got
kind of fits both of
He's
them.
got the good, quote unquote, aspects of both of them to the sense of gaining power and control and
Yeah,
everything
the
like
skill.
that. Yeah.
The skill of both.
Yeah.
I
That's
don't
it.
believe his loyalties.
No.
Oh, he almost tells us that later.
Yeah.
He almost
Good thing I was
screams a little
watching
bit.
that. Good.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think she kind of feels dirty for letting him do what he's doing behind the scenes. Because I think she believes that she has a good heart. She believes that she has innocence.
She does. Like,
She believes that.
yeah.
And so she has personal guilt for knowing the
Yeah.
things that are going on. But she also likes to have the
What is he
veil
doing
that
again?
he provides her. He's basically killing people.
Killing people.
Yeah, like he wiped out his whole family.
Oh,
Anybody
really?
who had anything to do with
Yeah, it's a game of convenience.
Sure.
Yep.
It's just easier to wipe them out, and he's doing it very subtly.
But he wasn't told to do that.
No.
He's just doing it
No,
on
he's,
his own
he's,
accord.
he's a little rogue right now, and I think she feels dirty for having set this in motion and doesn't know how to get out of it.
Yep.
But she fucking made this bed with Laris and Christmas Cole. I mean, she chose her two big allies, and if she turns on one, she's screwed a little bit.
Yeah. See, my thought was, sorry, I'm good.
No, she's so annoying to me because of the whole, she plays, maybe not the victim, but what you're saying, like her innocence. Well, I wouldn't have known. I didn't ask for that. Oh my
she's the righteous
word,
one.
what?
I just dropped all the hints,
She's
and then I
righteous.
was upset when the thing that I was hinting at happened.
You know,
Yeah,
my
and
thought
later
of
on.
the bath scene when she shoos the servants away, it's like she realizes, wait, he picked all of these. They're gonna like come back and like sketch some tapestry feet pics
Take
for
pictures
him or
of-
something.
Yeah.
of feet.
Little, you know, to,
She's got a blister on this one.
Only go for the right one tonight.
No, when she's in the bath and she starts like obsessively scrubbing the one spot, it reminded me when she used to pick her fingers.
Yeah.
And it's like, is this her new nervous tick?
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, that's where she
Yeah.
feels dirty.
It
I
feels
forgot about
dirty.
that
Yeah.
piece.
I can't
That's
get it
where
off.
that's where
Yeah.
I thought it was.
Yeah.
Because I wonder, did he touch her shoulder? I'm trying
Like
to
when they
remember.
walked by?
Like when they were talking.
I would imagine probably.
Probably.
And that might be
Why
her.
she was scrubbing that.
I had to
don't
rewatch
remember.
that. I don't remember, but that's something I want to go back and
But
see.
I would
if-
say probably. I
yeah.
don't remember.
All right. So anything else with Larry's and Allison's?
I like Larry's. No.
He's an interesting character.
He is a useful character
Yeah.
for the story.
All right. So next scene is near Storm's End. Another flyby.
Rhaenyra finds the remains of her slain son.
She did. That's my note.
That happened.
Another Luke bites the dust.
Oh, poor Luke's. Luke's are out.
Hey, for the Lukes everywhere, you know.
It's
hey,
Luke season.
It's Luke season.
For the Lukes everywhere else but here.
it's Wabbit season.
Luke season.
Abby season. Luke season.
Yeah, no. It was sad.
It was sad.
It was
Yeah.
It
sad.
was sad.
And she looks, I don't know, not even broken, but just, she looks like how I would assume
Did you buy
somebody
it,
would look.
I
I
guess?
bought it.
Yeah.
Because there's not a right look to look or whatever. But
No.
I bought everything she was selling.
Yeah, and I don't think they like overdid anything. Like they didn't do too much wailing. You know, like they did a good balance of just bereavement. I mean,
Yeah.
she's
Yeah.
broken.
Yeah.
There was that, and then she shooed away the peanut gallery.
Yeah.
That kind of formed.
Well, it's a bad day for those guys on the boat. You know, their
They
whole
What is
net,
this thing?
their whole net
This can
gets used
feed
up by a
village.
wing.
This wing can feed a village. Awesome.
And then another dragon shows up. Like, we are never pulling a dragon
You know, the
anything.
taxidermy guy in the village was like, "That's going in the pub, motherfuckers."
Yeah.
It's gonna look great.
We're gonna make it a giant shade sail for the
Yeah, just
patio.
put a sail on the boat. It's a giant wing.
Dragon wing
I'll
sail.
see you. We will seat you at the Arax table. Brilliant.
You can charge extra for that.
Left
for
wing
sure.
edition.
That's awesome.
All right. So we are again back in King's Landing.
All right. Aegon listens to the day's petitions. Post-petition, Larys asks for a quiet word with Otto, and Otto chats with Allison.
So
I guess I'll jump in here because I was kind of flirting with this idea earlier, and this is really the scene where it happens. But Aegon is really doing a good job of hearing out the small folk. I mean, he's a little naive, I think, because he doesn't know what has been done. He's basically starting to almost undo some of Otto von Hightower's things of, taking sheep from all these people, and, we need to keep all of this war machinery building, and we got to make sure that we pay those guys. But, he's doing it, I feel like, in the right way. He tries to give that sheep herder the sheep bag before realizing, okay, that's actually...
Maybe I can't.
It's kind of a useful thing. He tried, though. And whether it went through or not, I think that person should still be upset, but, can see that, okay, there was something there. But then, the builder comes up, the blacksmith, and, he basically is no, we're going to make sure that you're the person that we're taking care of, because we cannot do this without you. Dragons are great and all, but there's not an infinite number of dragons.
And he shut down Otto, because Otto was coming back to basically do his, his manipulation shit. He just kept talking, and it was Otto was fuck. Okay.
I thought it was a really good Aegon scene.
Great Aegon scene. And, to that point, this is the showrunners, because for the last 2 years, are you Team Black, are you Team Green, are you Team Black? And it's been easy to be I'm Team Black.
It's been so easy.
It's easy, but you see a scene like this, he's a good fucking king.
He's working on it.
He's trying. And so it's one of those of, it's their way of saying, you're not wrong for thinking Team Green might be the right way. The story we've told, or the narrative you've seen, it might lean that way, but he's done nothing wrong. And as a king, or as a human, apart from being a cunt.
Oh, he's done some things wrong as a human.
But not as a king.
But not as a king. Not as a leader.
That's what I'm saying. He's a bad human.
Yeah.
But
That's a good question.
And actually, he's not even a terrible human. He just has impulse control.
No, he's a terrible human.
Not
Doesn't
really,
he rape people?
No.
Oh, he's rich.
Oh,
no,
He's got lots of children.
He's got lots of children, but
and he raped that one little girl.
And his mom was like, "Here, you'll be okay. Drink this tea."
You're right. Okay, I do.
Yeah.
I forgot about that.
Sorry.
So I
there was
remember
a lot of that.
I was thinking more of the whoring and all that, which is
No.
I think there was a lot.
He
of that.
jizzed on everybody and
Yeah,
yeah.
he
Out the
goes
window.
missing last season
I mean,
when they're trying
that's,
to
I could forgive that, but
we see
we had a
some of his
hard
bastard
line of
children.
rape.
Yeah,
Like, we just,
that's the best children. Nobody holds that against Robert.
Right.
Nobody, the whoring and all that, the rape, the peeing on people. Okay, I forgot about those. And I'm not defending the guy. He is a piece of shit
He
human.
was also there
But-
at the children fight pits all the time.
Yeah.
Okay.
And
And however you feel about that.
Fair.
I guess.
No,
the
that's
box.
good. Again, it's been
But
2 years since I've seen this.
Yeah, but as a king and his kingly duties
Yeah.
so far, it seems like he's trying to do a good job.
Yeah. And so it's I could see them, the showrunners being like, see, you're not, entirely
Well,
right for...
I think this show is... everything about Game of Thrones is like, hey, you know how this person's despicable? Let me show you how you can start liking him again. Hey, they fuck each other, they're brother and sister, but you're gonna
get over
with
that.
it a little bit.
Yeah.
And you're gonna be mad that they're trying to fuck other people now.
Yep.
What? Why am I fighting for incest? What the hell is this show?
I mean, politicians should hire the showrunners to do their spin campaign.
I feel like they do.
Yeah,
Like, it's the
probably
same
do.
thing.
They probably do.
no, I think he's definitely trying, but at every pass there's somebody to tell him no, that's a bad idea.
Yeah.
So where he's kind of okay, fine, I'll just be a prick.
I dubbed him in my notes that are not here, Aegon the rather enjoyable.
Rather
That's
enjoyable.
what, he's rather enjoyable. He's like, no need to be nervous.
He's the magnanimous.
He just,
I can't stand him.
I can't really stand him, to be quite honest, but I'm like, dang, he's
I
just
don't
okay.
dislike him.
Yeah. That's what the point I was getting. I don't dislike the guy entirely.
I'd rather just Aemon be king. I like him way better. He's just way cooler.
I like
Too much
it.
chaos. I like it.
I love it.
So much fun
He's
in
too
my
full
hair.
of himself.
I actually disagree with your statement earlier about his alignment. I'd disagree with you as well. I do think he's evil. I think he's lawful evil. And he believes in, I'm more powerful than you, and by that ruling, I deserve what I can
think
take.
At some point, too, he makes the quote, I probably am jumping a lot, about when my family, like, usurped the throne or whatever and stole it.
Yeah,
He says
calls
that
it
in
out.
there. Yeah, like, he basically is like, when we stole the crown, or that I was like,
Oh,
interesting.
he's pretty honest.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, no, I think the evil lawful is a better. I was trying to place it, but now Aemon, to me, it's just he's too full of himself. Like I actually like Aegon in that sense of he never thought it was his. It was never his right. It was never anything that was intended for him. He's been thrust into this within the last week, and it's like, oh, I thought I was just gonna kind of party all for however long to come. Now I gotta do shit. Okay, let's do shit.
Yeah, fine.
And so it's like,
Buckling his bootstraps.
so
Go get me a beer.
Need a beer?
Whoever.
Can I have a beer?
We're going to go with this one, I think. Sorry. Glenn won today.
We also
Thanks,
have
Glenn.
Laris in the next
yes,
scene.
I was gonna
right?
say it's in the same. Yeah,
He's
And
pissed
Laris in the
off.
next part of
Yeah.
this.
yeah.
And
No, they weren't.
I called Laris a total fucking gaslight against him. I feel like he is gaslighting so hard throughout this whole thing.
Oh, yeah.
He's just playing everybody. I mean, he's just like, hey, because this is when he walks up to Aegon afterwards,
Yes.
right? And he's like,
Falls
hey,
into the balcony.
Mr. Von Hightower was like your dad's buddy,
He's a
right?
terrible
That like you used him,
What a
right?
piece of shit.
He's like, yeah, I know.
Dang.
And
Yeah,
Laris is
dude.
like,
Pick a different
we
one.
can work on that.
Let's go surfing.
He's worming his way into Aegon too, and I don't know if it's gonna work. Like I feel like Aegon might put his foot down, and it's gonna be more like, no, I already know what you got going on with Alicent,
And I'm not scared of you.
and I don't need you. I
Yeah.
have Aemond. Like
Yeah.
in my head,
I feel like Aegon would let him in. Aemon would say no.
Yeah.
Yeah.
you're-
Don't
No,
do
he's
this.
just-
or it's
he's
to
just
do so
to
and
get to your
have
feet.
control over him a bit.
Yeah.
Like to have some reverse eyes on him, keep him close, sort
Make
of
him
thing.
think that he's in with you.
Whoa.
I don't know, but it's interesting to see little strong club sandwich trying to do his weasel work with the king now too.
Yeah, we'll see if it pans out.
Last part of that we had Alicent and Otto with the little fireside chat. Anybody got anything on the Otto Alicent?
Yeah, I feel bad for Alicent. I think that she is very aware of her son's flaws and she knows kind of the path forward to make them not garbage humans.
Yeah.
And her dad's just undermining every single thing that she does.
And I think her dad respects her not at all. And he's like, what a great idea. That's very good. And she's like, see?
I thought we were the same
Thanks,
team.
Dad.
He's
Like,
like, aren't we? He's just like, I don't think we are.
Yeah. But like here, he was like, I hadn't seen it through the, I will totally take good point. And she's like, I mean, it would just be helpful. And he's like, absolutely, my daughter.
Stop
And-
undermining me and my parenting.
And
Dad.
then he's like, okay, we've pacified that. Continue to do what I was doing. Like,
Right. Oh,
he just...
absolutely. I mean, how much does he remind you, Gertrude, of Tywin Lannister in general?
Not at all.
Not at all?
He's
Zero?
trying, failing, but trying. He wants...
It's like he's playing the book. It's like he's playing the lessons that you
Yeah.
would learn from Tywin,
Or that type of...
but he doesn't really know how.
He's not... It's like he is doing the same things, he just doesn't have the same... intelligence. It's like he
Malice.
is. Well, I don't even think that. I think he is more narrow focused, where Tywin was all conditional, like all taking all these
No
things
box
in.
unchecked for Tywin.
Yeah, and he is like maybe not realizing how complex some of these things are, because he's like, if I just do this, and I'll get these people on my side, and we'll say this to her, and then we've got it, without realizing, like, there's a
Things change.
360.
And the other problem that he's running into, he's been Hand of the King for 3 Kings now. most of the time was in peace. He was not a war leader or anything like that. So he's been playing the political game. He's like, we need to get these houses. We need to do this. We need to have restraint. Whereas Aemond and Aegon are like, we have fucking nukes.
Yeah.
If they don't bend to our... the problem is, then he reminds them, well, they do too.
Right.
But the difference is we can get those houses to fall in line a lot faster by using this power, such as the Conqueror did, over sitting back and letting ravens fly. So he thinks in my opinion, he's doing the right move of the long-term goal over the short-term, because the long-term goal is to have peace across the realm again, let everybody kind of cool off and do all that. The short-term is defeat Rhaenyra, but he's more concerned with the long-term overall than he is the short-term, because he feels the short-term, it's going to fall in line as is.
I think he also has a false sense of security or importance.
Yes.
Like, that's another big thing, and I think Tywin for a long time was always working to, like, get to that, and he has been doing that, so he already has the security, doesn't think there's going to be,
restructuring.
Yeah.
Exactly.
It's always worked out for him in general,
Right.
besides when he got let go.
But guess what? He's
He
back.
came back.
He's always kind of worked to
He's
make
like-
sure he gains the most out of
Right.
things
He's a lot
and stuff
like
like
Buster
that.
Baxter.
Yeah, Buster
Went away,
Baxter.
then he came back.
This scene, one line that Otto said actually gained a lot of respect for him to me. Yeah. Was at the end of his conversation with Alicent. Because my big problem with her is that she just thinks, like, she can go forward with this plan that she has and it'll all work. And Rhaenyra will bend the knee. And, it's so trivially dumb and, like, childlike for her to think that any of the thing that she's trying to do is going to work just that easily. Like, it's just not going to end up in
He's
war.
been sending letters.
Yes. But, like, Otto at least says, like, just so you know, the path forward now is one of violence. Like, that is where we're at. And I agree with what you said. Like, he's not a man of wartime.
But
I think he's kind of a weak man who's felt comfortable and done good in his spot.
right.
But he knows that new times are coming.
Yes.
He's at least aware of that. I feel like a lot of the other people on the Greens are not aware of that, other than Aemon and Kristen Cole. Like, I feel like Otto, Aemon, and Kristen Cole are the only people, and they kind of show it later, that are, like, aware we are about to get into a war. And, like,
Everybody
not
else is.
aware that but there's things that are going to have to happen, and things are not going to work out in the way that Alicent wants them
It's
to.
going to be dirty.
Yeah.
It's going to be a fight. Like,
That's the whole problem that I have with the Greens right now. Is it's just like maybe it's just Alicent and Aegon, but
It's
like
just Alicent that is really doing everything
Yeah.
to not... Because even right when the news was the small council that came at the middle of the night after Viserys was dead, they were already planning of, like, here's, like, the next steps.
Yeah.
That's when she's like, are you...
Were
Like,
you
we've been
just behind
plotting
my
this?
back?
This is like, there's already a plan here? Like, what the hell are we doing? So it's really just Alicent. And we're seeing that come to head in this conversation between Alicent and
Yeah.
OVH.
Which I don't mind them having like a conversation outside of just to be on the same page for.
You don't want this to be in a council table conversation?
No, because I hate the concept. No, but if he's going to undermine her at the council table, you might as well talk about it beforehand or before the next meeting. So hey, let's be on the same page. So you don't fucking make me look like a jackass, and vice versa.
let's be clear. What Glenn's really saying is he'd rather just do a one-on-one podcast with any of us, but the fact that we're all here is the worst.
this isn't even that small of a council. It's a rather large council
For
at
the
this point.
record, when Glenn created this show, it was supposed to just be me and him.
This is what he said the whole time.
It grows by one each season.
Each intricate, yeah.
What is this? Our how many seasons have we done?
This would be
It's
9. This would be 10.
So that was 9, 10. This is 11, right?
This is 10.
Because we did 1 through
We did
8.
7
and we did
twice.
7 twice.
You're right. So yeah,
Do you
That was
think-
9, 10.
Yeah.
This is our 11th season of this show.
All right, important question because we're talking about the show, our show.
Which you can
And
find
all of our
on
shows.
YouTube at Drawbridge Media.
Do you think if you were crossing the narrow sea on ship that you could watch all of our content during the journey
It would
or
be longer
not?
than that journey.
Yeah.
It would be longer than that journey.
I don't know. It's a pretty
It
long
is.
sea.
It's
It is
a
a
really
lot
wide
long
sea.
I
hours.
mean, you figure 11 seasons.
Not as narrow as you
let's
think.
do the math real
I
quick.
just re-listened to the last
11
season, and the first episode was like 3 hours,
I
3.5 hours.
4+ hours.
Yeah, so I was gonna say, there's at least 110 hours just as a baseline, and then
We started at Critical Role.
I was just gonna say that. Yeah. Sorry, that was just
It's always been our bag, baby.
dumb off rail, but
But we do know that the show is going to be started in an hour, so we got to keep this rolling.
we're gonna be moving. So, with that said, we're on to.
Oh, also we got to call out for the Jojen train in the.
Oh,
Jojen!
my least favorite joke. Like,
When
seriously.
he finally died, you're like, I guess we can finally put the Jojen. We're
Never.
like, no Jojen!
Next stop,
I just don't know if I'm on the Jojen train yet. That was
I just don't know if I'm on the Jojen train yet.
And then
We
it just-
can relive those memories. That was
Sorry.
awesome. Thank you, Mackenzie Albert.
next stop.
Wonderful.
That's the only one I could have gone with.
Alright.
Moving on.
With that, we're back around the Narrow Sea at Dragonstone.
Alright, so we got soldiers look for stowaways on ships. Damon speaks with the White Worm and makes a deal. Rhaenyra and Jacaerys return to Dragonstone.
Huh. So my only thought was, looks like they listened to the fans, and she dropped that horrible unknown accent that no one could understand what the hell she was saying.
That's still pretty bad.
The white worm?
Uh-huh.
Oh, she's still using it.
It's
She's
not
100%.
as bad.
She just said fewer words.
maybe no, like the
Like what you're talking about, the weird accent.
It's like
just
the weird
uh,
pseudo-French sort of.
She still
Like
uses
Caribbean.
it.
Kinda
It's
like-
a lot less.
kinda like Shea Stadium
it's a lot
had, or-
more.
It's a lot like we made that joke a
Yeah.
lot. It pissed her off when she re-listened. She's like, "You guys really talked about Shea Stadium a lot."
Yeah, they did. Or we did. Yeah.
You were there.
I was there.
You were there.
already.
But yes, it's that.
I
Yeah.
kind of feel like we can go back to the first season when I was like, wait, who is that again? And you're like, Abby, it's still Roz. And I'm like, oh.
Show.
Girl from show.
And I'm like, okay, fine. Because this girl, she shows up, and I was like, she's obviously somebody from, don't remember at all. Like, then I'm like, oh, maybe I do, but.
She was really sporadic last season.
Yes.
Like, she was there in the beginning, and then
Yep.
she came back a little later, but it wasn't consistent.
I was like, I'm pretty sure she had like a balcony or something at one point.
She was
Yes.
Like-
Damon's favorite whore
Yeah.
for a while.
She had a
She was
balcony.
His
queen. or
second
his,
wife.
Yeah. Yeah.
oh yeah.
Yeah, that's all I had for those scenes. Anyway.
Yeah, I mean, in general, Eric with an E is our.
Eric.
He's on the black side, just for your own
The
Erect.
twin.
information. Yep, he's the twin that formerly of the Kingsguard, and I like that he brings up to Daemon. You know, like our job was, our oath was to protect the king and his family. What are we supposed to start doing? Like, what are we supposed to do when they're starting to fight themselves? Like, how? What lines are drawn for us? How do we know what to do
Right.
when there's two people saying that they're king or ruler in this case?
And they start killing
How
each
are
other.
we supposed to
Right.
know? And yeah, we do have information on. He has information on what Aegon is behind the scenes, but that wasn't his job at the time. Like that's more his brother. But at the same time, like I like that question is being posed to Daemon. Like, what are like you're in our seat. What's the right answer?
Mhm.
Glenn, you're in that seat.
Okay.
Enjoy it.
I just killed Griffin on his horse.
Holy shit! You mean Clovis?
You're going down. On this first.
Whoops.
Whoops. But I don't know. I like Daemon kind of being checked by Eric. I think Eric has the right of it here
Right.
in general. And Daemon needs to get the fuck off his back.
Well, and then Damon slammed him with a quote back of like, "Oh, you just turn your cloak like you already did." Kind of calling him out for originally siding with Aegon.
Oh, that's because.
he didn't.
He did. He absolutely did. And then he left after. Yes, he left before the crowning, but he worked with Eric to.
They were both in charge of it.
They-
Just to get Aegon back.
Yeah.
Sure. I mean, that's still his job.
I understand,
I mean,
but
like-
it's still he was doing that under the orders of Alicent and Otto and all that.
I mean,
and like not going to be with his queen right away. So I mean, he did get called out of. You
I
didn't.
still lean on Eric's more correct here.
I don't
Yeah.
disagree.
I think that
But
Daemon is
Daemon
gonna.
needs to be checked.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's gonna argue no matter what to never be wrong, or if you make a good point, being like, well, that's fine that you think that way, because really, you should have thought you're never going to be right with him. Ever.
For sure.
Like you're
For sure. Rhaenyra's the only person that can be right.
Maybe.
Him. No, she's the
Sometimes.
only one that ever's been able to check him. His
Yeah.
whole life, besides Viserys, Rhaenyra has always been the one that kind of
That's what I'm saying.
put him in his own place a little bit.
Yep, absolutely. Are we going to talk about Jace and Rhaenyra? Are we there?
Yeah,
Yeah.
somewhat.
Maybe not yet.
No, not yet.
No.
Not really.
Nope.
Just kidding.
Got one more.
Because I was gonna say that they have like another meeting. I like these meetings better on Dragonstone than in King's
You just
Landing.
like their light up table.
Yeah, I mean,
You don't like the stone.
He likes
You
the
like
venue.
I don't like the balls on the table.
Keep your balls
you like
off the
venue
table.
better. It's a better venue to
Better
watch
venue.
it.
They're standing up, and it's kind of more not as serious, I guess.
It's
Well-
like being in the fan section. They're staying the whole game.
Also,
You like that.
Supporters.
the only deliberation that happened during that meeting was bring me amen. You know, there was no other
That's kinda like
conversation.
We're out
council
there,
commences.
yes. That's still one more scene. But yeah.
That's covered up, yeah.
But now we're in what you were talking about, Abby, the Jaehaerys and
Jaehaerys.
Jaehaerys, thank you.
Yes.
So I just thought it was pretty awesome that both of them, like, really Jace gets out like the list of things. This is who we have. This is who I saw.
Yeah.
Here is
Doing his
business.
job still.
Here is business. And then like he breaks after the business is done.
Mom lets him break.
But
She gets
he
up and
waits.
says it.
He
How it
waits
happens,
for
though.
her to like be like okay.
It was
And
good on both of them.
it was so. And I just think it shows such respect. Like her boys, not just like oh that's my mom. It like they respect her as their leader. Like and they show
Absolutely.
like I don't not decorum, but like reverence.
Pretty good word.
But like in
Yeah.
like they're gonna keep up those things until
Professionalism.
until like she gives the signal that mom kid relationship can happen now. And I just think that's pretty impressive about the way she raised them. Speaks a lot to their relationship. And I liked it a lot. That's all I got to say
it
about
felt
that.
very much.
I'll say about
It felt very much like that's what happens when you're grieving.
Right.
When the right person's doing it. You know,
Yeah.
here's what has to happen. Everything's done. Are you okay? We're not good. All right,
You're
good.
right.
Like we'll
But
be
there's-
not good together.
They're functioning
okay
and
to
they're
Yeah.
not be okay.
yeah.
Like they let the things that they had to do,
They got,
did.
yeah.
But then it's okay to let yourself
Yep.
not be okay. And I'm glad that that moment happened that way. I'm
It
sorry I'm
did-
walking right in front of the
No,
cameras.
I just thought it spoke volumes of like, I don't know, a more accurate representation of grief than a lot of times women get given in shows, which is just like bawling or like completely falling apart. Because we watch Rhaenyra be broken
Yeah.
and be just a shell of a human, but she's still going. Like, and she's
Got
still,
a job to do.
Yep.
Similar to that,
She's gonna
she's
take her throne.
yeah.
she has her duty.
Yeah.
She knows what she has to do, and this is meant to be a sidetrack. Like it's
Yeah.
meant to deter,
Absolutely.
and she's not gonna let it. And that takes fucking heart. It
Yeah.
takes guts. I mean, it's a hard thing, and she
It
knows
would
it's
be a
an uphill
luxury to fall apart completely. That'd be nice, right?
Must be nice.
Must be nice. She
Must
can't.
be nice.
I like her. That's my girl.
Yeah, really, really, really good scene. I thought.
All right. So from there, we're still on Dragonstone and King's Landing. We have a funeral. Or go ahead, Glenn. Sorry.
So it's kind of like a split scene, I guess.
Mm-hmm. Picture.
A funeral for Prince Lucerys. Alicent separately pays respects to those who we've lost.
Abby's got a big nose whistle and sniffle and just cringe.
I cannot wait for the day. Like, I really hope, I am just praying to all the gods, old and new, that at some point Alicent and Rhaenyra are face to face, and Alicent goes, I lit a candle for him. I just,
Call off the war.
I mean, like,
Oh, she's repentant.
I
like,
can see it.
I just,
You lit a candle?
the black flame candle.
I can't bring my son back.
Right, like I lit a candle. Like I don't give a fuck. Like I just, and you know
that
that's
made you feel better.
right. Like I'm glad. Like
Hey, thoughts and prayers.
thoughts and chairs.
Set a prayer for
But
Thoughts and chairs.
thoughts and chairs. That's yeah. I just when I saw that, I'm like, that is what she is. Thinks she is so correct, and what word did you use? Righteous. But I've done. I'm like, hi.
See, and here to my point, and yes, I would love to see that scene.
No, I just cannot wait.
Just to get the bitch back out of it. But,
I think it's Jakari's, and that's how she goes in my head.
I did like that they actually show that because they are showing her to be. She genuinely thinks she's in the right because of what she thought Viserys said. Like what she thought she heard from Viserys. She genuinely thinks she is in the right for it.
She does.
And so that's why she's so righteous, because she has at least evidence in her own head of she is right. And so, you know, we as
whether
viewers,
Viserys meant that or not,
yeah,
it was absolutely almost deliberate in a way that she has full-fledged belief. She has belief in her righteousness.
Yeah. And she did
whether
not
it's
want
right
this,
is a different conversation. But.
Yeah, and she did not want this outcome, like you said, brought up when like, oh well, we need to get these plans in motion at the end of last season, where she was like, you guys been planning this? Like she's like, I just found out about this information, blah blah blah. So now I need to step up and do it. So she's always felt like, yes, this is what she's wanted for her children, but at the same point, she put it to the side until that moment, and now she feels she's in the right. So again, I can see where viewers are like, I see the green, because she's in the right in her own head, and everything like that. So it's her lighting the candle, it's her doing the good thing. It's like, genuinely, she didn't want the bloodshed, she didn't want something like that to happen. So, I mean, yeah, I can see her being the smartest, being like, I lit a candle for you, and that. But at the same point, she felt that it's what she should have been doing.
And I think it's genuine.
Yeah.
Like, I really feel like she's upset by what happened, and she wishes it didn't happen. But
I don't think she can see outside of herself how like lackluster of a gesture that could come across as.
But we do know the personal relationship between those two.
Yeah.
And Rhaenyra knows how severely she does believe in, like, the 7-point star. And, like, I think she would understand that from Alicent, that really is meant, like,
it means a lot.
For her, it is a very sentimental thing. I also agree.
Take your candle and shove it up your ass.
Up and to the left.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Watch out, Christian Cole.
Get your face up.
I'm gonna need to get in there.
It's like rooting for your favorite football team, but then you have, the fantasy quarterback on the other team, like Mahomes.
Did they score? But
I want the 49ers to win, but I want Mahomes to do well too. So.
Never want Mahomes to do well. Sorry.
Fair enough.
There you go. What's the other Kelsey brother? I want him to do well.
Jason? He's retired. He's doing well. Promise you.
When can the other one get hurt and be done? Anyway.
He was on stage last night.
Let's get on.
Anyway.
I care.
We don't have enough time.
So we have one other time.
We're on a time schedule.
I need to talk to Katie about these
one
things.
Other thing, Rhaenyra walks into the council room of Dragonstone there and says her one line of the episode. I don't know if anybody else noticed that.
Yeah.
One line.
She has 4 words.
Yep. And it was like, well, okay, perfect. And now it's rolling, so.
And 2 of those words were names, right? She said 4 words.
Yeah.
2 of them
4
names.
4 words.
4 words and 2 names. Sorry. That's right.
4 wieners and 2 buns.
4 wieners and 2 buns.
Matt
Hogan. Beer hug.
Beer hug, yeah. All right, going on to King's Landing. Now, listen, I just got a thing from those
Drink
scenes.
for inside jokes.
Well, with her, I just thought it was... she has a huge presence. Rhaenyra has a huge presence in this whole show. And I love that they chose to not have her have long things, because nothing else needs to be said. Like, I like the choice of it.
I do too, and I like when she enters the room, Daemon walks up to her, because husband, wife,
right.
Play that card, but it's never like
Uncle?
he's in charge. Like, it was
Niece.
still, he's catering to her, but
Yep.
he's also subordinate to her.
Yes.
Legitimately. And like I like the dynamic of that because he kind of walks up, checks on her, like, hey, like
Did you find what you need?
rather and like, are you okay?
Yep.
Is kind of what that for them. That's what that
They're
means.
checking.
And then she goes to her head of the table,
Yep.
and he prepares to let her know as kind of this logistic facilitator. Here's where we're at. Here's what we know. Right, that's all in this scene where he kind of lays it out. This is what we're doing. These are the plans that we could start going. Just waiting on your order. Like,
Yep.
I thought it was really well done because it's good to see him again be checked. Because how many things have we seen him try to just start going and start doing?
Yep.
And because he is a doer. This is hard for him. But the fact that he
Driven
still
by a
hasn't
motor.
specifically gone behind without her authority
Yep.
to do anything. That's amazing. The respect that he has for her.
Yeah. I had a lot of issues last season when she was in labor and he was just like, well, we have to do this. And she's
Right.
still giving like orders and he's not listening and he has his own agenda. This year, I'm okay with it.
It's almost like he learned from that a
Yeah.
bit. Because that was exactly, but he never did do anything, but he was trying
And
to start
he
that
almost
ball.
does it a little bit early on. You guys have already hashed this out, but like with Rainey's, and he's like, "Get on, we're going in there," and she's like, "No,
Were you listening in on before we got here?
no." I was actually watching the show on my way home. Once I
That's
hit
called doing your homework. That's staying up to speed.
once I hit Silex, I was like, "Play, okay, we're gonna be versed."
Silence. Isn't that one of the dragons?
Silex.
Silence.
Silex is back in the park.
There you go. Yep.
All right. So we're into King's Landing, into our last location of the night.
All right, here we go. We got Damon meets with guard, whose name is Blood, and Ratcatcher, Cheese.
There's cheese on the table.
There's cheese on the table.
Blood and glasses.
We got knives.
So one thing I'm a little annoyed with, I didn't realize, I think you may have brought this up, Luke, last season. After starting the book and listening to it, first of all, he's still the commander of the Gold Cloaks, or he was. So he's still showing he's got connections and everything like that, which is awesome to see. They're not Gold Cloaks. He's the one that makes them Gold Cloaks. And they're not
wearing gold cloaks. They keep them.
But in the show, they're not wearing gold
Oh,
cloaks.
are they not?
They're not gold cloaks. That's what I'm saying is, they're just city guards or city watch and whatever. But in the show,
City
at
Park.
least as far as I can tell, they're not gold cloaks. But that's the thing, Damon's already made them gold cloaks
Come get up.
story-wise. So it's like, give him that little credit of, one reason that they respect him is he elevated them to having their own thing and, kind of show a little bit more. Because they never really brought up he's a city watch commander in season 1.
They did.
But
Yeah,
it wasn't
Yeah.
It was a big deal for.
Yeah, it was like an episode
Because
or two.
they're like you.
It was early. I mean,
Yeah,
Yeah.
episodes 2 and 3.
they're
It's like the
You've
first
made
thing the
him-
series gives him
And
to
then
like.
he goes out and wipes clean of
Yeah,
stuff.
they do the
Oh,
whole
yeah, he-
spectacle of chopping people's hands and dicks.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay,
It was
fair,
a big
fair,
deal.
fair.
I think that's like almost the opener of episode 2.
That might be.
I think so.
Yeah.
It's
Maybe 2 or
early.
3.
I need to go
But
back.
yeah, it was a big. It was
Yeah.
it was pretty well
Okay,
established.
fair. Okay.
But once he leaves,
Yeah.
it's not that anymore.
Yeah.
Like so, he gave it up halfway through that season.
Yeah.
Is what it was.
But he still had respect from some of the guys.
Yeah.
I've
Which is
always-
why he
That's
gets in the gate.
That's right.
He's able to walk up and get in the gates.
Mm-hmm.
So.
I have a question. In true, I take my job here as a first-time watcher on the wall very seriously. Do they ever say, hey, this is blood and this
Nope.
is cheese? Because all over the place, we're like, blood and cheese is blood and cheese. And I watched like 3 times being like,
Even
what am I
subtitles don't say it.
missing?
The subtitles.
Yeah, I guess
Do they-
it's similar
I never caught it
to
until I
Mr.
watched
Stark.
Okay.
It said blood
Because
coughs
they
or
don't-
something.
They don't
Okay.
say his name or they don't say
yeah.
blood and cheese.
The
But-
Stark dude, I have a question about that, but we can do that later on too. Because
I
we're
got
not there.
lots of thoughts on this scene, so
Go.
no, you should keep rolling. It's gonna be towards the end of it.
Okay.
I'll be careful.
Anybody got anything else with
My first
getting
note
in?
was been waiting for blood and cheese. I didn't realize I literally wrote
Well,
that down.
I was going to say, it seems like a decent plan, but we don't hear the plan B. It kind of cuts off
Yeah.
as if they don't find Aemon. What do we do? Like,
Storytelling. No.
We'll just wing it.
so it'll just be kind of interesting.
Yeah.
I mean, if they don't find him, what? And what is the repercussions from Daemon?
All right.
He's a dunk.
He's a Duncan.
Riley, have anything?
Nope, not for blood and cheese.
Okay.
No blood and cheese for you.
All right. Next part.
All right. Aemon and Cole talk battle plans. Otto wants a word with the prince alone.
Nope.
Oh man,
Yeah.
I feel like Aemond is a political dynamo, and there is nobody more important in this realm than him. In my head, I don't
100%
think
agree.
anybody compares to him aside from Daemon. Nobody but Daemon can do anything to him unless it's Aegon telling him something. Like, it's Aegon or Daemon are the only two that have any chance of utilizing or cutting down Aemon in my head. The way he is a tactician, the way he is politically, he's literally the one that's been reading the histories. He knows.
Mhm.
He's the one that's been training for this. And he knows that he's Aegon's best piece of information. Like, he's not only politically and militarily, but like the protection, personal protection we talked about earlier he is such an important piece.
I think he's got his eye on the prize.
I think he's got his eye on the prize.
And he also has a
Which
pathway
prize
to
is
get
that,
there.
Dog?
Which eye?
Which he's got a prize for an eye.
The only
Sapphire.
the only addendum I would make to your statement is I think there's one other person who has an ability to hold the match to the candle.
Well, we haven't seen
Cregan
the
Stark.
Night's King yet, but
They are in this scene, and that is Otto Hightower. Because, hear me out,
yeah.
because he is seeing exactly what you're talking about, and he's worried
He
about
could
it.
wield it.
He's thinking and trying to get ahead of Aegon
Yeah.
in his eyes. I think it's not explicitly like shown.
Aegon or Aemond?
It get ahead of Aegon on having the hold of Aemond. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So like you're saying, Aemond is protector to Aegon. With the conversation earlier between Otto and Alicent of like, okay, we just gotta let Aegon do his thing for a little bit. He'll get bored, then we're in control.
Right,
I think
yeah.
Otto's even like, fuck you, Alicent. This guy is like the
He's
control
the
of
villain.
everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So-
he's the linchpin right
I
now.
am going to talk to him
Yeah.
about. I don't like hearing plans if they're not being brought to the hand in the king.
I
And-
also think Aemond sees
Right through.
all
100%.
through that shit.
100%.
Like, but they're gonna work together.
Yes,
Yes.
But-
I don't disagree. I agree.
it's a weird
Hearts.
where it's not for sure yet, but the possibility's there. I think both of them see it, and it's going to be interesting to see how it plays out.
Bailey.
I think that Aemond is probably the smartest person on the green side. And he...
Christmas Cole is not.
no, absolutely not.
Crusty Cole.
But
Crusty Cole pizza.
Aemond is capable of, I think, working in a very subtle way, where he can almost insert himself into power where no one will know that he did it.
Yep.
Aemond? Is that what you said?
Yeah.
And I'm going to
Yours
go
aren't
the
working.
exact opposite route. I do think he's the smartest person on the greens. I think he's one of the best tacticians. He's too bold. He's too emotional. In the sense of he wants revenge. He's been slighted for however many years. He was disfigured and
Do
everything
you
like
really
that.
think he still
Yes, absolutely, because
that still drives him?
I do.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think it's such a deep wound.
That he
like,
can't-
just emotionally.
he
Because
can't
of
get
how
past
he
it.
chased out from Storm's End
Yeah.
after Lucerys.
well, even on top of that too,
It was
before
a little much.
even before the eye thing, he struggled to
because
get
of
a
the
dragon.
pig. Well, I mean,
Yeah.
he struggled to get a dragon.
Like-
And it was the Strong Boys bringing out the winged pig and
Yeah.
saying,
Right.
we got you a dragon. That was the initial
Yes.
big
Yeah.
stab
Right.
that he also couldn't get over. And then the eye thing made it,
He just seems
So
so
much worse.
intelligent to me that I feel like
that irrational side's a little surprising.
That's
and I'm not discounting that it's
Yeah.
there.
I think
I'm
he's
just
learning it. I think he's
that's
learning
that he can.
because he saw what happened with
Yeah.
Luke. My assumption is it gets scarier because he's learning how to be
use
aware
it.
of that.
Yeah.
That's what scares me about him, I should say.
yeah. And right now, I think he's only learning to accept it and harness it, but that's why he's not the best right at the moment to be the leader or the hand or the guide for the Greens, because he was already saying, we're going to go out and meet them in the field and do all this, and he has to be reminded, they have dragons too, you know, and that's, he has the biggest and baddest, don't get me wrong, but they have more, you know.
He could be outmaneuvered.
Right
and he
now.
can't control his, you know, so it's one of those of...
Allegedly.
You know, so that's my kind of counterpoint to that bit with it.
All I can look at is you, because like otherwise it's just.
Here's what it is. There's studio lights, folks. That's what
I was gonna say,
yeah.
With this scene, there's a point where Eamon and Christianity Cole are talking,
How many can we get?
and Eamon says something along the lines of Allison has love for the enemy. That's why she, something along those lines. That's why she'll, be weak or whatever. And Cole is just like, well, that's because Rhaenyra's spun a web and she got caught in it. And it's like, that's kind of the pot calling the kettle black for him, because he's being caught in these webs too that they've been sending. So he has no room to talk.
I don't
as
know.
far as
I got no love or respect for Kaleidoscope Cole.
I actually really, that was kind of the big thing that I had to say about this scene that I actually disagree with is,
Fuck you, Glenn.
well, not disagree entirely, but the thing I've been struggling with so far is I honestly hate all of the people trying to do right in this show so far.
Sure.
I really don't like either side.
Yes.
I don't like any of the niceties. I don't like any of the people playing the game. I just don't like their level of and style of doing it. I'm not liking the show.
I was gonna say, you hate the show.
No, I want
You said you'd be on.
I want
thing,
the
hate the
Damon
show.
and Eamon show. Like, I just want it to go to war.
Okay,
That's
okay,
all I
okay,
want,
okay.
you know?
Oh,
And so,
I just
as much as I want to, like, talk shit about Allison and the Greens, and I have frustrations with him, he isn't wrong in saying that Rhaenyra kind of is the one in the beginning of the show that pushed her to be, like, not just this goody-goody, like, I'm going to be the little princess girl,
Sure.
And led her on this path. Now, it's not only her fault that she's gone on this path, but, like, I can't entirely hate Allison and all of the Greens without bringing that thought that Christoph Cole put into my head. So,
Christopherson Cole.
yeah. So, like, I kind of agree with what he's saying, even though you're right, he's trapped up with it, and he really has no room to talk, playing both sides. But, like, I don't know who I want. I don't know what team I'm on. I just want all of the nice people to die, and I want the big bad guys to fight it out. Like, that's what I want. I don't know.
I want Rainey's
Every
to
episode's a
reign.
finale.
I just
That's
really
all I
hope
want.
all the
I
dragons
know
make
that's
it
not
out.
going to happen,
Action-packed.
so we're just
I know.
We've already lost Arax.
I
There's
know.
more coming.
I really just want all the dragons to make it out.
I have so many questions.
Words from a disappointed
We'll
fan.
get to
About
that.
dragons.
All right.
Very good show.
We get one every episode.
This happens to be this one. Cheers. This is this episode's final scene. Every episode, there's one of them. You know what, Glenn? I'll even stand up and cheers
Way
you
to
for
go.
I'm gonna do that because it's an excuse to grab cheese.
Bring it over to you. Take the plate of cheese.
just stand here like that's actually
I'm
really
just gonna
heavy.
keep eating the
That plate was
pepper jack
much
because that's all I've been
heftier
doing.
than I thought.
And the cheese, along with the blood, is ripe for this conversation.
Cheese stands
Ew.
alone.
All right. On that
That
note,
wasn't that funny, but it was.
It wasn't that not fun.
If you can name the reference to the show I'm
Oh no, I'm just
referencing,
referencing the
I'm
song.
giving this to the chat. I would be very impressed.
Wherein the cheese stands alone.
It's
It's
a
a
specific
song.
show that people
Okay.
should get.
Okay.
Hi ho, the Cheerio. Is that the show?
Farmer in the dough.
Right? Is he
All right.
farmer?
All right,
Um,
go ahead, Glenn.
so we have blood and cheese, or if you're Abby, you can call him guard and rat catcher.
Thank you. Yes.
And dog. Let's not forget dog.
Dog.
Oh,
Who is a good boy?
not him, obviously.
So we got blood, cheese, and a good boy make their way through the castle. They make it a son for a son. Helena informs Allison of her son's demise, or just kind of interrupts.
Mother father
So-
time.
Some Lord Commander things.
Right.
A motherfucker.
All
It's
right.
the mother father game.
His
All
watch
right,
was
so I liked especially the after scene or what's called they have a whole episode like behind the scenes stuff.
We haven't watched any of those.
Okay.
We just found those last night. Haven't done it yet. But
Doesn't
go ahead.
spoil anything. It basically talks about them. They built the entire fucking sewers for them to walk through.
Really?
Oh,
And it's
that's cool.
And it's like, okay, this
It
was
looked
like
pretty solid.
with working waterworks and everything. And it was like, okay, that shot going through was actually really cool. You see the darkness, the dankness, and even coming into, Maegor's Keep or the Red Keep of, walking past the throne room and Aegon with all his buddies, like, not giving a shit about these two guys just randomly walking around, hunted them. You get Aegon the Dragoncock. That's when that line was said. But you see that nice build up, and then they make their way. Oh, actually, even before that, the Blood was like, "We gotta get up." He's like, "We're under the castle." Chief says, "We're under the castle. We gotta get up to where the royals are." I'm not allowed up there.
I don't know.
I don't know. I mean, what the fuck?
It's a different red
Doesn't
catcher's
he
job.
say I know the tunnels like the back of my hand?
Cock.
No, cock.
Okay, good, because in the book it's cock. I couldn't remember what the show said. That's what was like,
Yeah.
Little did you know the book says cock.
Fun fact.
Beans on that cock. I thought that was a good line. I'm glad they got that in there.
Yeah, they did. Oh yeah.
They shoved it right in there.
Just like that candle.
Excuse me. Colonoscopy Cole.
Just give me an. Oh,
Cristiano Ronaldo Cole.
Calico Cole.
I'm just gonna squeeze up
he's squeezed my eyes.
So, all right. So we get into the chambers. Anything else besides up to that point, getting into the royal chambers?
I'm gonna save all my blood and cheese thoughts to the end.
Okay.
And think.
Up to the chambers.
Up to the chambers or anything like that, or we can get into the.
There's a lot of good dog action.
A lot of dog action. I think they have to go up like a ladder or something.
Yeah,
And I
said pretty
think
dog.
he makes the guard carry the dog up.
Yeah.
And the lantern, he had to
Like
get
everything.
And the
Yeah.
trap.
Trap.
Like, there's traps and lanterns.
It's the workhorse.
So we're into the royal chambers kind of thing, and we find Helena with her two kids. Who wants to take it for first stab? I think Luke wants to go last on his thoughts.
I'd like to go later.
Okay, I'll take mine. It was a great scene. I didn't know where it was going. I hadn't gotten to that point in the books yet, and it was it definitely was heart-wrenching and interesting.
Did you say you haven't gotten to here in the book?
I have now since I had not gotten there
When you first watched
when I first watched.
Nice.
Yeah.
I like this a lot.
I-
Please continue.
So-
I'm enthralled.
So, show-wise, it was like, okay, she's I'm gonna use the term ditzy. She's not ditzy.
I think I get what, I'll allow it. But watch yourself, McCoy.
I know. She's very out there, and so for them coming at her and kind of saying, you can pick. In the show, it would have made more sense for her to, choose the daughter first, and then have them call her out, because it's an easy thing. Like I said, just look CBS cock. It's like, and I get it, you don't want to put child actors in that weird, kind of thing. And I'm like, okay, then, so she just calls out the son and runs for it and does whatever. And I'm like, well, why didn't they make this choice? Because it could have been a little more dramatic and, this and this and this. Then I find out what happens in the show, or in the book.
Let's come back to that.
Yes. And that's where I was kind of, yes. So I'm like, okay, where they chose compared to what was,
Oh my
the
God.
book would have been so
Rated
much
G.
better. Would have been, G, exactly. Would have been so much better. But I understand there's a few things they had to change up. So, with that said, Glenn, thoughts? I see you have a note there.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely thought it was a interesting, solid scene. Characters we never, kind of just meeting for the first time.
I feel like we haven't had too much of that, at least towards the second half of the first season. We didn't have a lot of one-off, hey, here's a character for just a couple minutes.
Yeah.
And you kind of have 15 straight minutes with them. I like when they do that, though.
Yeah,
this worked pretty well.
You're kind of following these two jamokes and a dog, and it's like, where is this going? And are they going to find Aemon? And then what's kind of baffling me is there's no guards around, and we know where Calico Cole is, but it just seems like
Caillou.
wasn't there people in place to protect like
I was waiting for the
royals and
Harkonnens
stuff
to
like
show
that,
up.
or, like they don't run into really anybody.
I was at least expecting like the overview camera, and you see the guards with like their eyesight in like a flashlight.
Metal Gear Solid style.
Wind
or
Waker.
even Zelda.
Yeah.
Wind Waker,
When you're even
no
Ocarina of
sword.
Time,
Yeah.
when
Yeah.
you're going to the castle, you're gonna be Peach. Zelda for the first time, and you just you see all the guards. You can see where they're looking. We don't have any of that. I was
Right.
looking for that.
And like even when they pass Aegon and his buddies are tying one on, there's nobody really
No
there
one seems concerned with
that's
that.
questioning like, who are you
People
guys?
out
Which I guess could be an
We are the
indication
rat
of how
catchers.
things are with Aegon in charge.
That's-
It's maybe a reflection of you're not doing the things that you need to because you're trying to do this other thing.
He probably
You're
didn't
too
realize.
comfortable.
He probably
Well-
didn't realize that people watching over him was a good thing.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, that and like one thing I did hear, especially about the upper chambers, or one theory I read online was Cole decided we don't need any other guards. Y'all can scamper off. I got this,
Oh, really?
so he could go find him where we found him at the end.
So nobody
You know?
nobody questions where
So
were
nobody
you at.
questions what's going on. He's the head of
I heard some moaning
the
from the-
Lord of the King's Guard is the
Christina.
leader.
God damn.
The
Columbine Cole.
Too soon.
No, the flower.
My God.
Coriander Cole.
Cole.
There we
Luke's
go.
favorite.
Yeah. All right. So let's get it. If anybody else got anything
Bailey
else,
thoughts?
I don't know. I think it's weird how Helena just seems totally unbothered. But I think that's just Helena.
I think that's
She just knew it was
character. I
coming
think
kind of
that's
thing.
Yeah. the-
I hated it. Yeah.
But also, it's really weird to me how Blood and Cheese just let her go. They're not concerned. They don't even pay
You think
attention.
she was unaffected? Like, do you don't think she showed?
She seems shaken, but
I think
she's
she is
just
in
so
full shock.
matter of factly oh, they killed the boy.
And she catches her
I
mom
think
and
she's in
in
shock.
full shock.
Yeah.
Of like
Lord
I
Commander.
can't. Like
That's fair.
again,
Yeah.
the comment calling her ditzy. It's not the right word, and you even called it out yourself, Benj. But like, I wouldn't say her faculties are normal to what we are used to.
Yes.
So emotions might hit her a little differently. But I think for what we know of her, she is fucking
Devastated.
broken.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For sure.
I mean, I'm not really disagreeing because it was pretty calm because she had to save the
I don't think it looked calm at all.
I think it was calm enough to save the other one, and then when she
I think
got
it was
to
survival
Mommy's
mode.
room,
Yeah.
now we didn't sit much with her. Like we
Right.
saw her sitting there, and she just said the words. When you have to say words like that,
Yeah. She couldn't even bring herself to name the son, though.
right?
Like,
it's too much.
I guess that's why I
it's too
feel like
real.
she was disinterested.
Because
she
the
couldn't
boy,
deal with him.
right,
She
and I
hasn't-
get that
she hasn't
that
fully-
does seem very off-putting. Like, oh, the boy. On my own, I knew a person who called their son only the boy, and it bothered me
The chap.
so badly. So I
Close.
get why that is it's just.
That's what you just said in the chat.
But he was she's distancing herself.
To not
It's a
deal
self-preservation.
Yeah, I
in the moment.
truly think that
I
she.
don't know. I'll defend her in this moment.
I will defend
Personally.
her because I just can't imagine. I really hate you listen to the crime podcast and they're like, well, that 911 call shouldn't even sound like that was an emergency. Do you know
how
what?
How many 911 calls have you made?
Right,
Like-
exactly. Some people, yes.
They're hard.
You don't act how you think you're
No.
going to.
Well,
You
and
have
to
to make sure
panic
you're getting
is
that
a
information across.
luxury.
I wish I had the luxury of being able to fall apart.
Exactly.
That's a
Like,
brilliant
that's-
line.
But that's what it is. In those situations, some people, they can fall apart, and that's great because they're feeling all those emotions, and other people, they literally disassociate. And they're just the next step is to go to my mother's room or get out of here. Great, I'm out of here. The next step is somewhere safe. Somewhere safe would be my mother's room.
So
I
let's-
think she
let's
just-
roll on that as
But yeah.
we keep going. We are getting tight on time.
No,
is the
you're
only
good.
thing. But as far as how the book goes, I think we got to knock this out real quick. And this is
I've
not going to be
heard
an
this.
exhaustive conversation because there's a lot to it. The book is way better.
Yeah.
It's way more.
Isn't there a whole nother
diabolical.
kid?
Yes.
There's 3 children.
Yeah,
There's a younger son,
and that's the
and
one
there's
that
2
gets
twins.
picked.
There's a boy and a girl. There's Jaharis and Jahara, the boy and the girl, and there's Maylor, which
Right.
is their 2-year-old boy. And Blood and Cheese find them. They find Queen Alicent, ball gag her, basically. She's there. because they know that Blood and Cheese know that Helena will bring all the kids to see Grandma before bed every night. So they go to Alicent's room and wait. Helena shows up, sword point, knife point, all this. They basically go to her and they say, you choose which boy, a son for a son, I don't care which.
Well, I thought they did say we want this one. We want the heir.
They said, a son for a son, I don't care which.
Okay.
And she chooses. And they kill the other one.
Now.
Because, so she chooses Maelor, the younger one, and right before Blood kills Jaehaerys, he goes, your mommy chose you to die. Like, how fucked up is that?
That is fucked up.
To grow up with now. And I feel like that's a big miss for what the show might do.
Yeah.
I've been looking forward to this moment, just like the green dress. I know.
I'm over it at this point.
It should be.
I am. I was a little too harsh.
It was extravagant. I loved it.
It
was a nice dress.
I've been looking forward to this scene, and I just feel like I'm pretty let down.
I get
it was so much
ready.
worse.
Okay, but this is what
it's like no much more effort.
This is what I, maybe not my own personal thought, but it has been told to me that this show is based off the book that is written as a history book.
Let's come back to that.
Like, that's a point that I love.
We kind of touched on that. Let's talk about that a little bit later.
Fine.
It's a good conversation.
Yeah.
Done.
This is apparently supposed to be the true.
Like, this
the
here
true
is what actually happened.
Yeah.
And what you read in the book is what I'm guessing the Greens.
Well, no. It's several different. It's written a generation later.
Yeah, the winners.
Well, kind of.
There's multiple sources.
Yeah.
There's multiple sources that are referenced even in Fire.
Keep that in my head.
Which is really cool.
So to my point with it is a few things I heard once hearing about that reading and everything. They said a few things.
I was already
it's harder.
there.
Like this was the showrunners trying to not make it so cold blooded, so dark.
Man,
I know. I missed it too.
I missed it though.
Easy way to do it is do it to girl. Turn her into the one that mother picks. Instead, and you still use the line. There you go. But also most of the scene. Because shooting with children is there's a lot of rules you can only do. So most of the scene, you don't see the kids. You only see the kids for literally like 10 seconds and then out as she's running. So it's like to minimize the kids' interaction on screen to follow the laws and stuff that you...
I expect more from children actors. Come on.
Yeah, but I'm just saying,
they don't have enough they're going through in real life anyways.
I can understand it, but at the same point, total miss of we missed out on some just... metal, dialogue.
Oh man, that was the point I was looking forward to more than anything in this whole reenactment of this history.
Yeah. All right, so we are on. That's it for our show. We're on to episode title accuracy. Son for a son.
Sure.
Technically correct.
Hits the points.
I think it's fine.
Sure.
Yeah.
Description accuracy. Glenn, you want to reread?
I got it. Rhaenyra is oh no, that's the previous Leon. While Rhaenyra struggles to come to terms with her son's murder in King's Landing, Alicent grows concerned that Aegon's small council may lead them to an all-out war. I feel like that happens.
Yeah.
Pretty accurate.
Oh, true.
Larys suggests Aegon needs a new hand. I wouldn't say it's that blatant. He just kind of says like, "Hey, think about it."
Yeah.
Think about that's your dad's guy. He kind of used your dad. Yeah. He doesn't like say, "Hey, you should make me hate it." It's a little less on the nose than that, but it's basically that. And Rhaenyra arrives at a fateful decision. Yeah.
No.
Okay. Accuracy. It's there.
All right. So we'll go down the line. What was your least favorite thing, Riley? We'll start with you.
I feel like I said I didn't like a lot of stuff tonight, but I did. I enjoyed a lot.
You showed up and said, "I liked the episode."
Yeah.
For the record, this was the first thing you said when I got here.
Least favorite thing. I would say the lack of guards during that scene. It was just so stupid to me. Like there's no reason it should have been unattended like that. I just think
I feel like
it was
could
too
have been
easy.
More spy gamey.
Mm-hmm.
Like it could have been more behind the scenes.
Yeah. And like when she finally ran out of the room, like I said this earlier, but it looked exactly like Dune 1, and I was waiting for the Harkonnens to show up. Like I really was. Like the king's running out through there's nobody there. I'm like, how is there nobody around?
I love that movie.
Abby.
Least favorite thing?
Yes.
Fucking light a candle for me again, bitch. Shut the fuck up.
When that scene fucking happens,
I mean, like,
we are finishing a bottle of
I
wine
have
together.
no idea if it's at, but like,
It's
dear
like
God,
a
please, one time let her mention it to her
If
face.
that happens in episode, we are going to Postal
I lit a
Service fly
candle.
in some Black River Red.
The Postal Service also will be
We're gonna
playing.
get them-
Okay.
Yeah, test cat for cutie and all.
All right, Bailey.
It's tough to pick. I think I would say when Aegon is kind of being a jerk during the council meeting and trying to, get the Lannister to be his son's pony. Didn't love it.
Glenn?
Would you rather not?
I would say the King's Landing Council meeting with their little balls and
He
stuff.
just hates when they have little balls.
Little, yeah. All right,
Not
Luke.
subscribe.
My least favorite thing was the letdown of blood and cheese. I mean, it's literally a pinnacle piece of this whole book for me, and I don't think I'm alone.
So you're not going to watch the rest of the
Guys,
season.
learn how to do all the streaming. It's set.
So-
You just gotta hit play.
So mine, actually, it's not a story thing. It's a technical thing. I really wish they would have made the Helena run down the hall a one-shot. Get that
Just-
camera in front of
would've been
her,
better.
turn it around, instead of cut. And even in the behind-the-scenes thing, they show, this is how we're going to film this. And they're like, it's making you think. And then after, I'm like, oh, was that a one-shot? I didn't even notice. Then I'm rewatching, I'm like, no, it's cut. And I'm like, God damn it, that would have been so much more powerful, just doing a one-shot all the way down into the Queen's room. You see that, and boom, done. Yeah, it's technically hard to do. That's what makes it fucking cool.
That's what makes it worth doing.
Yeah,
I mean, how many times did you specifically call out during the Game of Thrones episodes, like, hey, that was a 45-second continuous shot.
I mean,
and yes, like,
Battle for Winterfell was.
There's so many of
Battle
them.
of the Wall.
There's so many of them, and like that's something I know. Like, I know that
It's
you noticed.
Just start
And
naming battles.
This would have been a great opportunity
Just
for
start
that
naming
to like,
battles.
oh shit,
Battle
like,
of the Bulge. Battle of the
So, no,
Bulge.
that's fair. That's a
Like, and here's the thing, I actually didn't have least favorite
Battle
like,
of Iwo
up until
Jima.
as we're like talking about it, and I'm like, wait a second, no, that as we're talking like halfway through, I'm like, that's it. That's what pissed me off is they didn't have that shot. All right, on to the good part. Favorite things. I'm gonna start with mine because it's kind of controversial. Rhaenyra only had one line.
You got him.
For a triple team.
You're last. Because if you ain't first, you're last.
We can end the show now.
All right, we made it.
So mine,
We caught
the
the
reason
snitch.
it's my favorite thing, I don't like the way she talks. I don't
Oh,
like
that's
hearing
terrible.
Emma talk. I like her physical acting is
They.
correct. I apologize.
Sorry,
No.
I just aggressively
No,
said that,
absolutely.
but I
No,
meant it
no,
not
no,
that
you-
aggressive.
no.
I totally forgot about that too.
No,
so I'm
and-
glad.
Yeah.
that-
And I was more speaking of Rhaenyra.
Yes,
Her,
yes.
I like her physical emoting and everything like that.
Your emotion.
I
The
don't
emotion.
like her voice. I don't like when she speaks. It just not
Grates
pleasant.
your
to
ears.
Yeah, it grates my ears. I just don't like it. And so to find out she only spoke one time this episode, I was okay with it.
For Rhaenyra.
Yeah. I mean, it's a dick thing to say, but I'm gonna be honest.
Well,
Yeah.
that's opinions are just
Yeah.
like
So, all right, Luke,
Spade is spade.
favorite thing.
My favorite thing was Jace and Queen R breaking while trying to get through the business, but falter over Lucerys' memory. I thought it was a really, really nice scene.
I'm gonna second that was my favorite as well.
Good choice. You know, I'm a second. You're seconding me. I really appreciate what we're.
Okay.
Glenn.
I really liked the first scene with the North and all that. Like, I thought, we're probably not going to get much of it moving forward, but, it was kind of like a cool, like,
Nice touchstone.
It's nice
nice,
to be
like,
back in
oh,
Winterfell.
awesome. This
Did feel good.
be
Riley.
back up north.
For me, I would say my favorite thing. I haven't watched the first season in a long time, and so I feel quite removed from any emotions or preconceptions from that. And I really like where this episode has me feeling right now. I don't really know what side I'm on. I feel like I should be on the Blacks, and I don't want to be with the Greens, and I don't have a reason why I'm not just going with that, but I'm not yet. Like I'm very excited about where I'm being placed in what I want to happen. Like, yeah, I do want the big battles. I know it's leading towards it, but I kind of don't care who wins. Like I right now, and I like that. I like watching the game when neither team is the team that I'm rooting for, just because I like the game. You know, so that's my favorite thing.
Abby.
I'm gonna get the quote completely wrong, and that's fine. It's when Rhaenys tells Daemon, he says, hop back on your horse here, young stallion, and she says, that would if you were the king. Yeah,
that's good.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, ooh, okay.
You ain't get a boss around.
No.
Queen that never was.
No. And she's so unbothered by it. She's so I love that Rhaenys is just so unbothered.
Her personal confidence is almost unmatched.
And she's one of the only people in this whole show that seems to, this episode I should say, and we talked about Daemon like being subservient to Rhaena, possibly now. But without a doubt, she's like, she is the queen. Did that come from the queen? Nope. The queen is grieving. We're going to let the queen grieve. Mm-hmm. Like, she is Team Rhaenyra, and I just like that.
I know what she's going through.
I've done it. Also,
give her fucking space.
Yeah, give her.
I also, in that, we didn't really talk about that, but she even calls out, like, I didn't know my daughter was dead. Your wife.
Yeah.
I got that by a fucking raven, dog. Like, what do you...
Like,
I know what this is like.
I needed to see it, and I'm telling you.
A raven dog. But yes, that was
stuff in Hogwarts house.
Raven dog.
And their picture is also not a raven.
All right,
So
7 minutes till episode.
Let's shotgun this out. All right. With that said, we're gonna run through our house names and stuff. Riley, I don't know if you have yours up or anything, so we're gonna.
I better pull it up.
I'm House Mr. Narrow Sea.
Okay. Okay. House name, Mr. Narrow Sea. House words.
It's too big.
There it is for somebody else's voice.
What's your
That's what it
That
is.
is what it was at this point.
Sigils didn't work, I guess. I don't know.
All right. Personal Twitter or whatever.
What?
Twitter.
Personal Twitter
you got personal
or
Twitter
X or
No.
No,
Okay.
just no.
Final thought.
Excited to see where it goes. I'm glad you guys are back and I was here. So
I'm glad you guys are a part of it.
All right. Bailey.
I am Bailey of House Blend.
Words.
But first, coffee.
Sigil.
A mermaid on a field of green.
Twitter.
I don't use that crap anymore.
There. And final thoughts.
I'm excited to see where this season goes.
She's mixcited. That's what I heard.
All right. I am Ben, a.k.a. Sly of House McLean. Words are, it's dangerous to drink alone. Sigil is 3 black triangles on a red balloon. Twitter, that hasn't been used in years, is at Sly McLean. And my final thoughts is I wish they would have had the guts to go darker. So, Luke.
I like your final thought. I'm Luke of House Blackmaid.
Words.
Ours is the drink.
Sigil.
An obsidian black chalice on a gold and blue checky background.
X, Twitter.
Sure. At Luca Ferocious.
All right. And final thought.
I wish the show wasn't as heavy-handed on how this story is being told. Like, I feel like they're really trying to lead the witness in, you should believe this. And the book is a lot more ambiguous.
Yeah.
That's what I'm missing.
I am enjoying
the book is more ambiguous to where I feel like when you're saying, I don't know who I like, for me it's easy in the show so far. Because of the way the show is doing it. And I wish it was closer to the book where you're like, well, if you kind of ignore that one big thing for Rhaenyra, it's a little simpler. I missed that.
All right, Glenn, wrap us up. House name.
Glenn of House Dog.
Words.
You miss 99% of the shots you don't take.
Sigil.
A doggo with a hockey sweater on.
Twitter.
At Popsicle Stand.
And final thoughts.
I thought it was a pretty good episode, but I definitely got a boost from it not being on for an extended period of time.
Yeah.
So I was kind of excited for this to be on again.
And not doing 2 years worth of every single week full catch up. That was hard too.
Right.
Yeah.
It was worth it, but that was hard.
But yeah, we'll see where it goes.
Hey, nice job this episode.
All right. With all that said, thank you for being here. Thank you for listening.
Me.
Abby.
Oh, Abby. I thought I did yours. I'm sorry, Abby. House name.
The forgotten one. No.
Well, you were
I thought I
late.
went down this line. And
I am Abby, aka Gertie of House Condescension.
words.
We don't quit.
Sigil.
It is a field of white with a raven sitting upon an up-pointed chevron.
Twitter.
They kicked me out also.
Final thoughts.
I feel like we're playing at war. Like, when you talk about people playing at house,
These people don't know what winter is. These are sweet summer children.
and we just have a lot of things that say, like, oh, we're, like, playing at these, like, big whatever, but we don't even have guards in our hall. Good job.
Right.
All right. So with that said, thank you for listening. Thank you for being here. Thank you for hanging on our chat. Make sure you become a patron. Learn more at patreon.com/stayimaginary. For all the ways you can help keep our beer bank full, check everything out at thepodcast.com/support us. Look us up on YouTube, Drawbridge Media. Follow us on Twitter and Instagram at Know and Drink. Send us a digital raven at knowandrink@gmail.com, and subscribe, like, rate, and leave comments on iTunes and YouTube. And don't forget to hit that notification bell. And with that said, until next time,
Stay imaginary.
No, good try. I gotta pull mine up. No, I do. No, fine, I'll start it off. As always, I still don't know, so I'll just drink.
As always, don't turn your back on the wolf pack.
as always, winter is coming, and so am I.
As always, I need another coffee.
As always, it's still too big.
As always, stay imaginary. Enjoy the episode, everyone. This was a lot of fun.
Cheers.
I'm so happy that we're back, and we will see you again
We got plenty
next
of cheese left.
week.
Sir.
Blood and cheese.